Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Super Old Games Saturday, the retro gaming show I put on every week, usually at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, except next week and the week after that. But either way, this is your weekly stop for classic gaming goodness. Now, as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, tonight was supposed to be the finale of Invericide Eve, but unfortunately, Emmetic's schedule changed at the last minute. He couldn't get out of what it was, so I had to quickly come up with something else, which is fine, because I've always said about this program to everybody on the show, whether they've been on the show, whether they've been in the chat, whatever. The success to this show or any show, if you ever want to do this yourself, learn how to improvise, learn how to go with the flow, learn how to be able to take things kind of in stride this way. So in my case, I said, okay, we got a free week. What are we doing with this? My first instinct was to say, we're going to do a reviewer request. I'll pull something off the master list for that stuff. The chat, you might have asked me either here or on the YouTube site. But I said, all right, I could have had a couple I could have pulled out for this, but I said, I didn't necessarily want to rush a viewer request, because I always say, when I do a viewer request for the show, because I'm asked for that, and I appreciate that all of you out there wanting to see the show, like the idea of what the mission of this show really is, going deep into the guts of gaming that we love, don't love, or at least have some intrigue on. But I said, I wasn't going to rush that. I wasn't going to half-ass a show like that. When I get a viewer request, I will prepare for it very specifically, just to make sure that we're going to be all in line for what it is, like we're going to be doing with Tekken 3 at the end of next month. So I said, okay, what else can we do? Well, I look back and I realized we have a game that I've been meaning to play for this show, and we sort of demoed for the show a couple of months ago that I did actually back in July of 2020 when I first started doing this. I didn't really have much of a direction for the program. I said, I want to show people this. I want to show Protorova this. And I want to show Edwack and Nikki this game as well. And I said, I don't have recording this anymore. It was my old tech equipment. I said, let me do this again. So that's what we're doing tonight. But before we get to that, we got a little something else. But we're going to be playing Dynamite Headdy, released in 1994, specifically on August 5th, 1994 in Japan, and in the US on September 28th, 1994 for the Sega Genesis, and there's also a Game Gear version that I do have, but I can't show right now because I don't have the, not the Retro Tank 5X. I don't actually have to use that tonight. The Retron 5, to put Game Gear games into. It's an interesting version. Actually, it's the first version I owned before I owned this one, although I played this game in an interesting way. I rented this because I saw a code in SWAT Pro magazine, if you remember that, going into an element of stage select for this. Like, I don't know why I rented a game just on the back of its cheat code, but I did, and I said, okay, fine, let me take a look at this. I found this really creative, colorful, and really hard game that is not going to look that hard, because we're playing the Japanese version via the Mega Drive application of the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack. And the reason we're doing that is because there's going to be story content that's unique that is not in the US version, and the US version was ordered harder by Sega of America. They said they took the same attitude that Nova Trade took when they made Echo the Dolphin, saying that kids are going to beat this game too quickly on a weekend rental, and they're not going to buy it. So Sega of America said to director Hiroshi Aso, who directed the Game Gear games of Jurassic Park and Batman Returns, as well as the Game Gear version of G-Lock, and also producer on other games of Sega's like Hang On GP, House of the Dead, Knuckles Chaotix, and every one of the Xbox Live Arcade Namco titles that are in the Namco Museum Virtual Arcade that we're going to take a look at in about 2 months, and a production manager on Shenmue. They said to him, you go back in there, you make this game harder. And they made it harder in ways we'll go into, but I also thought of something else. I said, this is not a long game. I've been playing this game since it came out almost 30 years ago next year. So I said, one thing I think we should do, because we haven't done this recently, I said, let's take a look over of the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack again, because we're using that to play it, because this is by far the best emulated version that you can get while the screen goes dim. I switch over there and show my idea of getting my patches going on for Mario Kart 8, Street Rage 4, which I didn't know they patched, and also Luigi's Mansion 3 and Theater Rhythm Final Borderline, which I just picked up today. Having a great time with both of those. But what I said is that let's look at the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. Where does it stand? Because when we first saw this about a year and a half ago, it was very contentious as far as how was the Nintendo 64 stuff ported, and the fact that the Sega Genesis stuff was there. Actually, we've not looked at the Sega Genesis side of this since the first time we looked at this, which is when we did Rystar, which is actually kind of similar to Dynamite Headdy in terms of how it plays and even how it looks. And it's kind of late-era game on Sega Genesis that really showed off what it could do, and had a grab or kind of an attack mechanic where you're throwing part of your body at people. And that was kind of the idea of its producer, Koichi Kamura, who said, hey, I want to have a game where you can attack players or enemies, I should say, with part of your body, which is what the idea of Headdy being a puppet. But we'll get to that in a little bit. But I said, okay, fine. We haven't looked at this in a while. Let's take a look and see where have these services come, what new games have popped up, and also, yeah, a little while ago, about a month or so by now, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance finally are on the Switch Online services. And actually, Game Boy, Game Boy Color here, they're bundled into one. I do the Japanese versions of each of them to show them off. And you do not need a Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack subscription for these two. So yeah, the base $19.99 a year plan, if you only have that and you don't want to upgrade to the $50 a year expansion pack service, you have the Game Boy Color stuff, but then the Game Boy Advance, you do need that. So I said, okay, let's take a look at what we got, what's different about this, what other things they put on here. In fact, let's start with the Game Boy Advance, because we had an update to this actually a couple of days ago. As we get this going, you hear that bling, bling. Yeah, it brings me back to 2001. All right, because, yeah, we did get a new game added to this a couple days ago. Metroid Fusion from 2002. And, actually, I don't have a button for details, so I can't really show details on this. I'm using the Sega Genesis controller, by the way, for this. Well, because I'm running a Sega Genesis game, but also because it's one of the only these classic controllers where it actually has a home button, so you actually leave the menus here for the Switch Online stuff specifically. But yeah, it looks like Nintendo did sort of listen to what we did the Wii U War Chest overview a couple of months ago when we played Final Fight 3, because that the Nintendo Wii U and 3DS eShop, it's closing on actually only a couple of weeks. It's March 27th. And actually, a lot of stuff that was on there has been brought over here. So if you have your Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack subscription, you have access to it, including Kurorin, which I think I pronounced it wrong when we looked at this before, looked at the overview of the Wii U's, I should say. Kind of a bit of a puzzle game. You're switching that little bar thing around. Also, Legend of Zelda Minish Cap, which I was so happy to see them bringing this back, because this game is amazing. One of my favorite games in the Zelda franchise, and one that I get the sense not a whole lot of people really were talking about or seem to remember. But when this came out, everybody I knew who got this or had the Switch Online expansion pack service said, we got to play this game. They played it, said, oh my god, this game is awesome. And even people who grew up with it said, oh yeah, I forgot how amazing this game was. So, going back to the price case, because yeah, remember what we said about the Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack? It was a $50 investment when it first came out, and it still is. But now with all the extra stuff they're adding, I think it might be looking a little better as far as it, especially because the emulation on the Game Boy Advance stuff and the Game Boy and Game Boy Color stuff is pretty damn amazing. I'm not going to lie. So it's not like they fucked it up the way they did with Nintendo 64. And even Nintendo 64, they're doing better. We'll show them in a little bit. Yeah, we do have the Legend of Zelda Minish Cap from 2005. Also the European version, because I'm always one of those people. I go into the settings, both North American and European versions. So you can have the, I don't know if they have the 50, 60 hertz distinction, because these are portable games. So I'm not sure really if that was something that was going that way, because they didn't play on a television. I don't really think they made much of a difference. So basically, I guess what you're going to see is, in that European version, you'll see a language selection. You'll also probably see, I guess, differences with English for like English, if you want to put it that way, where they'll have the spellings different. So that's really kind of all it is. But yeah, that's great to be seeing that. And then, yeah, this is the other reason I think the advanced stuff is amazing, because they have probably 4 or 5 of the best games ever released on this thing up here already. I mean, not a whole lot. There's going to be more. As they've mentioned before, there's other games that are coming out, like Golden Sun, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, I believe, is coming. Both of those Fire Emblem games, the one that Japan only got and then the one we got, are going to be coming up here as well. But for now, we got some big hitters that you'll be playing until those come out, including Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. After Super Mario RPG, which you played a couple of years ago, this is the best of the Mario RPGs, if you ask me. Better than Paper Mario, better than Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, way better than a sequel, that's for sure. Partners in Time. And I was so happy to see this, because it's another case of people maybe missed this, or it's been a while, or I guess in this case, the 20th anniversary of this game later this year. So yeah, another great Mario RPG is available to you for your Switch Online expansion pack goodness or service costs. So as Mario Kart Super Circuit, the Game Boy Advance Mario Kart that tends not to be remembered, but it is a really good one. Kind of going the Super Nintendo method in terms of how it looks, except with kind of some, I guess not really sprites. They kind of have little polygonal elements, and it also has all the courses from the Super Nintendo game, so it's quite a great variety there. And if you're playing Mario Kart 8 and getting all those downloadable stuff going on with the waves of the new DLC they have running, there's courses that come from this game. People are like, where'd this come from? Like, oh, it came from this. But since that game has hills, like, yeah, the courses are almost completely unrecognizable. And the other day released Metroid Fusion, which was very happy to see as far as the direct sequel to Super Metroid, although it also follows after Metroid Other M, which was not out at the time this game released in 2002. And here's how we get Metroid Zero Mission coming up later, although I do have Metroid Zero Mission on the Wii U specifically, so we can definitely show that for the program. And I've said before, we got to do stuff with Metroid. I guess we'll start with Super Metroid, unless, chat, you have a suggestion. What do you want to see as far as Metroid first? Because actually, with this service, I'll jump the gun a little bit on the Game Boy stuff. We can show all of them now. Oh, at least all the ones that are on this system, and then other ones I have, which is, or have access to, which is going to be basically all of them anyway. But yeah, the Metroid Fusion is there. It is a great game, a great 2D return to Metroid that went well with Metroid Prime that came out kind of right about the same time. And they also listened to me with one other thing. We did our Wii U show of Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Brothers 3. Ooh, the mouthful on that one. They took the version the Wii U had, so it has all of the e-reader courses and all the e-reader items and things, but it does do something better than the Wii U version, and same case for all the Game Boy stuff, Advanced Color and regular, in that it has the link cable support. So yeah, you have link cable going on. You can feasibly do the multiplayer on any of these things you want. In fact, Edwack and I, we did do multiplayer on Mario Kart Super Circuit. We really confirmed that it works like a charm. Even the online isn't too bad, although Nintendo Switch Online's always been a weird one as far as how well does online really work. But yeah, you're getting the best version of Super Mario Advance 4 on this, and yeah, that is a great ad, along with WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro games. The first of the WarioWare games, another one celebrating 20 years this year, and with the announcement for Game Boy Color that we're going to be getting Kirby Tilt and Tumble eventually, it opens the door for WarioWare Twisted. Please, Nintendo, make that happen. That was one of my favorites in this franchise. This absolute insanity of micro game gaming, I guess, if you want to put it that way, from Wario. It's like, hey, let me become a software king, make a bunch of money that way, and feasibly screw out my friends who we actually only met for the first time in this game out in the process until they realized, no, we need to get a cut of it as well. It is absolute insanity. It is also Nintendo, I guess, going as deep as they can go with a lot of the references for franchises of theirs, including stuff I'd never heard of until these games, thanks to 9Volt down there. In particular, because he has his love of the Nintendo stuff, including the insanely obscure stuff. And we gotta do stuff with WarioWare. I guess we could start with this one. And I could show WarioWare Twisted, because I could play it with my GameCube. I have to tilt the damn thing, pick it up, and tilt it. And I guess have a button for a controller to play it. But maybe they can put it on this, and it'll make it a little easier. But hey, if I have to show it off that way, I will show it off that way. But yeah, that's Game Boy Advance offering. On Japan's side, it's basically the same. I may as well just show both of them just for this. And since I am running the Genesis controller that does not have an X button to it, I can't manually close it. So I just go into everything. There's not really much of a difference really in here, except for the fact that it looks like it's a lot less because there's no European and American distinctions. Fine, just Japanese versions. And you see the Japanese box art, which sometimes do look a lot better, a lot more interesting in some ways. Like with Korean, which definitely looks a little more flashy than, well, I guess it wasn't the US box art, because we never got that in the US. It was only released in Japan. I guess they came up with a mock box art for the purpose of this. Well, okay, fine. We got a better Mario Luigi box art, we'll say that. That's a little plain. Metroid Fusion definitely looks very mysterious as far as how that was. Mario Kart Advance, which is the name of Mario Kart Super Circuit. Made in Wario, which is the name of WarioWare for them. That's basically the same. I do like the look of Minish Cap as well when they're in the Picori village with Link, and of course his new chatty hat who loves going things like, Yeah, we have to do that game. I love that game to death. Not really too much different as far as those services, but that's going to change when that the Fire Emblem stuff comes out, because we're getting the one for Japan that only they got, and vice versa. It's going to be an interesting one. But next up, we'll take a look at Game Boy. We're going to do this on all the stuff that's new, like the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance, and then also Nintendo 64 and Genesis before we start off on Dynamite Headdy. Because hey, it's a little bit of an extra, and I get the sense that people like seeing this stuff. And anybody out there is like wanting to see anything that's up here, it's all up for grabs, and a lot of it is stuff we can actually show easier, including The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX. So, yeah, I have the Switch version. We're going to play the Switch version eventually, but I said I wanted to show off the unique stuff that's in this that is not in that Switch version they took out, or they adjusted, I should say. But with this released here, I don't have to get in the case of fixing my battery or getting my battery fixed for my Game Boy Color copy of this. We can just play it right here and it'll work like a charm, or we can play it in Francais or German, or Deutsche, specifically as far as that. And then, oh, sorry, that was me going over to the left. Yeah, in that case, it's going to make our jobs a lot easier, or my job a lot easier, for being able to show this stuff, which either I had a bunk cartridge or a bunk cartridge still to fix, or I had on 3DS, which was the case with Gargoyle's Quest from Capcom, which was a spin-off of the Ghosts and Goblins franchise with Firebrand the Gargoyle. It looks a lot different in this picture than they did in the other games he was in, which were Gargoyle's Quest 2 on the NES and Demon's Crest on Super Nintendo, which I have access to those as well. And actually, except for, I don't think Gargoyle's Quest 2 is on the Switch Online for NES. I don't think it is anyway. Demon's Crest is for Super Nintendo, so we can definitely play that way. And I have the Gargoyle's Quest 2 on Wii U, as indicated. But also Metroid 2, Return of Samus. So yeah, we can play the second Metroid game specific that came between Super Metroid as well. Also, the other thing you can do, I'll show this for the Game Boy stuff. You can change what the color look is like, so you can play it with the Game Boy look of the old green and black, the Game Boy Pocket look of the black and white, or the Game Boy Color look for games that don't have Game Boy Color support natively, like Gargoyle's Quest and Metroid and Tetris and Kirby's Dream Land and Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins. But you played this for the show before, using the original cartridge. I had a great time playing that one for sure, for collectors who want to see it. But yeah, all these other stuff are going to be up for grabs, including Game Watch Gallery 3, which, with that link support added, I'm so happy they add that, so if they can put the other 2 of these up there, and then 4 on the Game Boy Advance, we can get the linkage going on with those. And actually, they put that 4th one up, that might be an easier way to get the linkage going so you can unlock the insanely rare Game & Watch games that are in that, including the Game Watch Zelda game, which is one of the last ones that ever released, and it goes like multiple hundreds of dollars if you can find it. And it was actually a Game & Watch LCD Zelda game specific. I'll have a picture of that when I edit this. But yeah, this is the 3rd Game Watch Gallery game they gave us in row, and it's the first one we got here, which is fitting. It's the first one I played, and I love this game. This game is fantastic in terms of taking the 5 LCD Game & Watch titles that are in it, as well as some extras you can unlock, and having modern takes on them to add new mechanics to them. They are wonderful. I have every one of these physical except the second one, but it's dirt cheap for the second. We definitely have to have a Game Watch Gallery night, because these games are awesome. Gargoyle's Quest I played a little bit because I have some 3DS Virtual Console, but it is an interesting one as far as platforming element of Ghosts and Goblins with a different take. Metroid 2, as I mentioned, Mario Land 2, as I mentioned, and Kirby's Dream Land, which I have an easier way to show now, because I only had this on 3DS before, as well as Tetris. They were able to go to the Tetris company to get rights to this again. So yeah, the launch game with the Game Boy, here it is in all its glory, and you do have the link cable support going, but without link cables this time, which is wonderful. And Wario Land 3, the 3rd and often seen as best take of the Wario Land trilogy that came off of the Super Mario Land trilogy, then went off on its own into kind of like a Metroidvania puzzle game of sorts, and then 4 kind of reined it in a little bit more as a more traditional platformer specific. My experience is mostly with the first 2. I played very little of the 3rd one, but it is here, and it is a little more up in price for this one on Game Boy Color than the other one, so it's good to have that here for sure. And actually, I know a lot of people I know have been playing this and really getting into being reminded of like how good the Wario Land games are. Yeah, because the Wario Land games are terrific for sure. We'll have to start that. At some point, we'll definitely do the next of the Super Mario Land games, which is the first Wario Land game. That'll come in due time, though, for sure. And also, this is the interesting one they gave us for the Game Boy Color side of the US and Europe, which is Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare. I mentioned this actually with the Crusader 64 when we did the last part, Shadow Hearts, last week, which was basically they took this PlayStation 1 Dreamcast survival horror game, they bunched it down to the Game Boy Color specific. It almost looked like they canceled Resident Evil port to the system that Capcom was making but canceled. But it does have kind of this almost Commodore 64-like look to itself. And it is a fascinating one. It's not a game I played until this came out, but I'm kind of glad it's here just because it's so unique. And it really is a late showcase of what the Game Boy Color was capable of. I guess what degree Infogrames, who was the publisher on it, I think it was Pocket Studios who developed it. At least I think it was them. Who said, like, let's take this console game, bring it down to the Game Boy Color, and didn't really lose a whole lot in the translation. And there's also another one at some point, I should say, speaking of things not being lost in translation from console to Game Boy Color, Metal Gear Solid, although it's not actually ported to the PlayStation game, it's Metal Gear Ghost Babel, it's its own thing. I have that game is amazing, and if you want a free advice as far as Nintendo or Konami or something, Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Ghost Babel, as it's also known, I'd like to see it here, because that game is terrific. But yeah, Japan didn't get Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare, so what did they get? Well, let's take a quick look. It's not much. It's mostly the same. I mean, what they gave us so far on these services is basically one and the same. until they add new games. But there is one exception. And it's this one, Yakuman, which actually is an early puzzle game of Nintendo's. You might have seen this character in Super Smash Bros. As a spirit or something, or a trophy or something. This is what he came out of. It was a game that launched with the Game Boy in 1989 for Japan. It was by Intelligent Systems, who made Paper Mario and Fire Emblem and Tetris Attack. And it's the Mahjong game, basically. So I guess because in the US, I guess there's not much of a knowledge of Mahjong. I mean, honestly, I don't know a whole lot myself about it, but I'd like to learn more just because it seems like an interesting thing of what I've understood. But yeah, this was a big one for Game Boy, but yeah, US never got this. And everything else, though, we did get, although it looks radically different. The point is like, wait, is this even the same games we got before of Game & Watch Gallery 3 and Kirby's Dream Land, Link's Awakening DX? Definitely looks a little more active there as far as Koholint Island, Tetris, Super Mario Land 2, Metro 2, Wario Land 3, and then also, what is it? Makai Mura Gaiden, which that is Gargoyle's Quest. So yeah, that is an interesting look for Gargoyle's Quest. Actually, I think those were the kids with Demon's Crest for Super Nintendo in terms of the app that they had for that. Yeah, definitely something a bit different for it. So yeah, right now, nothing really new for Japan except for Yakuman that has not been seen elsewhere. But there are some stuff that they're going to get. They're going to get The Frog for Whom the Bell Tolls, which has never been released for the US. That's coming eventually. But that's going to be one case where it's going to be something new for Japan that we don't have. But since I have both the apps ready to run on this, and as I mentioned multiple times before when we've talked Switch Online or Switch Online Expansion Pack, you can get this free by doing what I did, which is setting up a separate account and setting it up so that you have the Japanese store as your default, and then going into the store with the profile you have on your console, this one in my case, and basically going into the Japanese store with this one, downloading it to your system, and then logging into each of these apps with the one you're paying for your Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pack or regular service. So in that case, yeah, you will have access to some of those Japanese things that could be pretty unique. In fact, well, we're going to take a look at Nintendo 64 specific. Let's look at the US stuff to start. Because, yeah, there's stuff Japan only has on that as well. And kind of, sort of on Genesis, but not completely. And it's fitting also to kind of look back at Nintendo 64 because we've said this before, we'll say it again. It's always been a contentious one when it's come to the Nintendo 64 stuff on the Switch Online Expansion Pack because for a while Nintendo didn't know what the hell they were doing when it came to emulating this stuff. And you could argue in some ways they still don't. It's almost like Sony trying to emulate games from PlayStation 3 because they can't do that either, specific. But they've been getting better in times that have come, specifically. I mean, and look, we live in a post-Pokemon Generation 9 world of Nintendo, so yeah, they fucked up the stuff on Nintendo 64 with that, but yeah, that game might be the biggest fuck-up they've ever done, and you'll find out more about that when we look it over in 3 weeks. And as I go along more, because yeah, that game deserves every single pot shot I give it. Anyway, let's talk about what's been added since, because we did use this for Majora's Mask when we played that, which is right here. Yeah, the Crusader 64 and I played The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask last year for the show with this version, which was mostly done well. And I guess since we've seen it last time for that, fine. The big ad was GoldenEye, for which we played about a couple months ago. Actually, before they even announced they were bringing it out for this, which is a little bit of a mixed blessing, though, on this system, because unless you have one of those Nintendo 64 controllers that came out with this, good luck playing this, because they did not really emulate the controls specific for the other controllers that the Switch has. So yeah, good luck playing it this way, and if you are going to get it on the Xbox, not Xbox 360, that's the one they canceled, they didn't release, the Xbox One, Series S, and Series X, you have to have Xbox Game Pass to play it, or you have to download the digital version of Rare Replay, and remember, if you have the disc version like I did, you got screwed over because Rare was asked at the beginning saying, can we be entitled to this if we have the disc? They said nothing, and then when it came out, they said, oh no, you got to have the digital thing because of the way the licensing is. And technically, I'll say this, on the Xbox One Series S, Series X version of this, you technically don't own it. At least I don't think you do, unless you download the Rare Replay digital version, which even then I don't know if you own it, because they didn't update Rare Replay at all. They basically made it so that if you have it on your console, you can go in the store and it'll say, like, oh yeah, you have access to download this. So it's basically just a check that it does to make sure you have access or ability to be entitled to play this. But it's also that case of, when the servers go off, is that going to be a case where you're not going to be able to play this on the Xbox One, Series S, and Series X? I guess same with the Switch, let's not lie here. and it has its issues with control here, but it mostly is ported fine. It's not like they screwed the port up, which is usually been a case where, hey, there's button lag or there's things where there's technical issues or glitches that it didn't have before. That's not the case with GoldenEye on this, so there is something to be said about that, and I don't know how the online works, because I've heard the online stuff for the Switch Online, fine. But from personal experience, it usually has not been very good. On Nintendo 64, I've still not tested it. But that being said, people do have their online here where they don't on the Xbox consoles. But yeah, you have modern control schemes on the Xbox system, so maybe a better take. So yeah, I'll leave it up to you. Let's see, what have they added since? Okay, I guess I should insert the Crusader 64's with Mario Golf. I'm sorry, I'm never going to lose that. I guess here's the other question going the Game Boy stuff. Can we get the Game Boy Color version of this going? And if so, can we get the transfer pack stuff going? Which I guess would be the question now with Pokemon Stadium when that comes out later this year. Stadium 1 and 2. Can they get the Game Boy and Game Boy Color games up there, and can they get transfer pack usage running? If they don't, it kind of defeats the purpose, and they kind of box themselves in a corner on this one, saying that, you kind of can do this now. Hopefully they can do it. Please, Nintendo, we're begging. But actually, Mario Golf they could do that with as well. And actually, Mario Tennis, which is down there as well. But I guess of other stuff they've released recently, they do release Mario Party 1 and 2. And they do put a warning in front of Mario Party 1 and the Japanese version of 2, saying that, hey, be careful when you rotate the control stick, because they do have the control stick rotation games still in place for Mario Party 1. And we're going back to, actually, it was when we did Part 4 of Majora's Mask, I said, Nintendo's never going to re-release Mario Party. Well, consider me wrong. I will admit I was wrong about that. They did re-release it, and they said, fine, we're going to just put a warning to people that way. With Mario Party 2, they said, fine, we just don't have the rotate the control stick games in it, unless you play the Japanese version, in which case it does have those rotate the control stick methods for the games that had it that way originally, which were Mecha Marathon was a game like that, and I think there was something else. I'll edit down here what that is. But yeah, Mario Party 1 and 2, which they emulated really well. Both of these are really well put together as far as how the emulation went. So I think Nintendo's learning. And next up is Mario Party 3, which is coming out later this year. And outside of that, yeah, we're so happy to see this coming back. Pilewing 64, we played this for the show already. I love this game with all my heart. And they actually rebuilt this game. They pretty much, this is the first re-release it's ever gotten, ever. And so for this one, I think they rebuilt it so that the UI looks a little different. And also, it has an uncapped frame rate. So there are areas where it's hitting 60 frames per second during gameplay. They did not on the Nintendo 64. So in some ways, this might be the definitive version. So actually, for that reason alone, this might be the best game on the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack for Nintendo 64, just because of how they emulated it. On top of the fact it's getting attention to this great game that launched with the system with Super Mario 64 down there. But, yeah, maybe it never got its time in the spotlight. Hey, I've given it more than enough time in the spotlight. The only time we'll give it another look in the spotlight is when we play the Super Nintendo game that Electrus wanted to see, because we'll play that one, I'll use this, and I will briefly, I promise briefly, I will not overstate this one too much, show that they made some updates to the ROM for this, because I think it's at least worth showing that, if nothing else. And they have Pokemon Puzzle League, which I think does have some button lag to it, admittingly, that I didn't notice in the other versions, but I was so happy to see this because I love my Tetris Attack, as we showed when we played it. And we'll play this one eventually. I think Edwack and Nikki have called dibs on this, I think. I'll talk with them next week because they're going to be on the show next week for the two Freddy Fish games we're playing. But yeah, we had a great time playing Tetris Attack itself. Here's more of it, and we're pretty much going to play every damn one of these. I'm not going to lie to you. And Pokemon Snap, I think we've had that recently in 5 languages. Yeah, Italian, Dutch, Spanish, and French. And English, which is amazing just to see that. And then I guess of everything else they've added, Wave 64, which the Japanese version is actually the Shindo Pack version, so it has Rumble support going on. And here's Yoshi's Story, which they still haven't fixed the frame rate problems it has, so fuck Nintendo for that. And we're going to play it on the Wii U for that very reason. Okay. One other thing before we get to Genesis, and then we'll start on Dynamite Headdy. As I said, this is going to be a brief overlook specifically of this, because I said, hey, I want to give something a little more. I think, chat, you seem to like that. And also because, in all honesty, I think Dynamite Headdy's not going to run that long. So I said I may as well have a backup a little bit extra, so here's going to be that extra. Yeah, most of it is the same. No GoldenEye here. No Pokemon Puzzle League, because I don't think Japan got Pokemon Puzzle League, I should say. At least I don't think it did. Mario Party 1 and 2, as I mentioned. The big unique ones on here, though, are Custom Robo. Custom Robo and Custom Robo V2. They're here now. They reported to the GameCube in 2003, I think. Costs a lot of money on the GameCube. They're here at least, and it seems like they're ported okay, but I don't know anything about these games. I didn't play the GameCube version that came out later, and I definitely didn't play these two. But they're kind of these arena-like fighting robot games of sorts. Kind of reminds me a little bit of one of the mini games that's in the new Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe release. It's kind of fun in terms of what it is. It's almost like Mega Man Battle Network quality as far as kind of the overview perspective itself. But without translation, I'm not really sure where I'm going. And that's good as a preview to the game we're going to do tonight, because I have the translation written out completely for what story's going to be. And then, yeah, everything else mostly is stuff we've seen before. But yeah, there's Waver 64 that does show, actually not in the picture, but it is the Shindo Pack version, so there's Rumble Pack support for this. And it was fascinating to be able to see that and to be able to feel that. All right, last destination for this, before we get started, is Sega Genesis. And then we'll load up the Japanese one, because that's what we're using for Dynamite Headdy. Actually, I think for Super Nintendo and NES, there has not been a whole lot recently added. But I said I at least want to show the expansion pack stuff. And since Game Boy is new, we'll show that as well. As far as what we did get new, as far as Genesis aside, another treasure game, Alien Soldier. This game is insanely hard. This might be the hardest thing they've ever made, and that's saying a lot. We didn't get this game in the US initially because of that reason, I think. Which makes it ironic that Dynamite Headdy was ordered to be made harder by Sega of America. But yeah, that's here, which is this great kind of 2D shooting game, kind of like a Contra-like game with Epsilon Eagle, and we'll definitely show this at some point. I don't know when. I'm going to need more practice for that than Contra Hardcore, which I've been doing my practice on. In fact... Oh no, that's Mean Bean Machine. Okay, this is 2 hours and 52 minutes. I've been doing play of Contra Hardcore on this, but this is just the English version. I've been practicing also with the Contra Anniversary Collection that's on this console, and the Japanese version, so I've been practicing this game left and right still to get ready for when we play this in September. I do think I'm getting closer as far as it. I'm actually able to get to the 4th level now without dying, or at least with being able to have lives going on, which is good. It's much more progress than I thought I was going to be able to have. At some point, we did the preview program on Game Dev Tycoon, which we're playing in 2 weeks. I'm going to do one on Contra Hardcore at some point. I don't know when I'm going to do that, but they're going to be a Friday night. I'm going to pull that one out. I'm just going to have a practice play. I'll just run through this to see what I can do, how I can do, because we are using the English version, and I think we're going to use it on the Switch Online expansion pack right here to play. I will say one thing. EdWack does have this on the Sega Genesis itself. I did not know that, actually, until about a couple months ago. And for the purpose of that, I said, you know, if I really get nervous to this, can I borrow it and use a Game Genie for that? He said, yeah, sure, if you want to. If I feel that's necessary, I'll do it, and also if my Genesis can take it, because I've said before, I've had issues with my Sega Genesis setup taking games not correctly, or not running them correctly, as with with World of Illusion and with Streets of Rage 2, then I might do it. Otherwise, we'll run this one, because I think that's probably the best way. I think that's why I'm going to have a practice program. That's why I said, like, over a year before I said we're going to play this, I said, we're doing it next September. I'm practicing. I'll do a practice program for that, for sure. But yeah, it's going, and actually, we did have a preview a little bit. A couple months ago, we had our World of Illusion play. So you sort of saw a little bit, but yeah, I'll have more, and then we'll have the full play in September. I promise you that. Then Alien Storm, which I often confuse with Alien Soldier sometimes. This did come out to us in 1989 as a arcade port. Sega Genesis games at the beginning of its life were big on arcade ports and big on box arts that looked kind of like what you got in the game, but not entirely. Yeah, it's basically a left and right side-scrolling shooter of sorts. We got in 1991, I think. Although it is pretty early. You can tell that with the Sega Genesis seal quality instead of the Sega seal quality. They had a release of Dragoon recently. Actually, that was last year they added that. For it was Game Arts, I should say, who made the Lunar games. We're starting Lunar 1 in about a month. They also had Beyond Oasis. They added multiple versions of Beyond Oasis because Beyond Oasis had different names, including La Legend de Thor in French, as well as The Story of Thor in Spanish, German, and Korean. Okay, so yeah, I got 5 versions of Beyond Oasis for the purpose of them releasing it on this, which was kind of hilarious to see. As well as columns. We mentioned columns before. We should show some columns for this show, just for the purpose of it. And we'll get that going eventually. Heyo gang, heyo Lekverse, so good to see you tonight. We are playing Dynamite Headdy for the Sega Genesis, but I've been actually taking a little bit of time before we did this. We haven't gotten to the game yet, don't worry. to look over the Nintendo Switch Online services, where they stand now, because as we mentioned a couple years ago, they got Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance stuff on. We are finally able to have that and to talk about it. So good to see you. Like, first, feel free to let your memories flow on, I guess, Dynamite Headdy when we get to that. Anything else we got going here, including the fact that I'm saying, yeah, I'm practicing Contra Hardcore, I promise. We did show that a little bit when we had our World of Illusion play a couple months ago. I'm going to do a preview program specific just for practicing this. Probably in a couple months, I'll figure when I'm going to do that. And, yeah, because we're playing it. I'm getting better. I promise I'm getting better. We're going to play this game. I know you wanted to see it. I know it's hard, but I feel like I'm getting better at it, and I'm looking forward to playing that, as well as anything else you see on this page. And if you want to go back to look at the stuff on Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, say the word. We can do it before we go to Dynamite Headdy, because we're going to use the Japanese version anyway for this. I'm just going over what they've added since, because it's been a lot. And we actually have not looked at the Genesis side of this since we played Rise Star a little while ago. I've been here, just couldn't chat because my phone was dead. Don't worry about it. I've been there before as far as cases of that. I'm just happy you're here, and hope you're enjoying what you're seeing, if nothing else. And hey, if you want to go into anything you saw or heard specifically in regards to the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance stuff, or anything on Nintendo 64 and Genesis that we've talked about so far, or I brought up, say the word, we can do it. You know how it works on this program. We're glad to have you, as always. Yeah, next, as far as what they added Earthworm Jim. So, the Super Nintendo version of the second one is on Nintendo's Switch Online service for Super NES, but then Genesis got this one. We got the Genesis version here, which is the better version, because it has an extra level, and it has the screen resolution in good shape, and the music's better. So, in that case, we'll probably play this one when we get to Earthworm Jim at some point, and we'll play the Super Nintendo for the other one. And I do have these physically both ways, specifically for the Game Boy apps. I'm enjoying Super Mario Advance 4. Yeah, we mentioned that a couple months ago, didn't we? Where you have all those e-reader levels. In fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go through quickly as far as what else is here. Golden Axe 2, which is the sequel to Golden Axe. Very happy to have seen that. White Crusader, which is an RPG from Treasure. So yeah, I mentioned that to the Crusader 64 last week. Mega Man The Wily Wars, which we saw last year, I believe. Shining Force 2 on top of Shining Force 1. Let's see. The 5 versions of Beyond Oasis, as I mentioned. Target Earth, which I never played this one specifically. As well as Thunder Force 2? Yeah, 2. Then we put 3. 4 is on this to download. And Virtua Fighter 2 is kind of but it's there. And Sword of a Million. And Zero Wing. So all your bases belong to us. I think Super Mario Advance 4 needs more love. I agree. In fact, you know what? Let's give it more love right now. Let's take another look at the Game Boy Advance stuff. See, this is the other thing. I mentioned the idea of why we're doing Dynamite Headdy this week is that I'm improvising because we couldn't do Paris Eve's finale this week because Medic's scheduling was... he had a situation come up at the last minute. So I said, fine, let's improvise. Yeah, let's talk about that. Needing more love. In fact, here it is. Honestly, as I mentioned to you when we did the Wii U War Chest Overlook, it got more love from me, honestly, when it went digital. Because I didn't like it on the Game Boy Advance, because I felt, hey, I wish it had the original NES version, number one. It had the thing with the e-reader cards, most of them were not available, and they cost like 8 times the price of the game to get them all on, and you couldn't put them all on the cartridge, but now they're all on the cartridge, and it is extra stuff, and it goes to that idea of what was interesting about that game, which is that it really was, of all the Super Mario Advance games that they came out with on the Game Boy Advance, this is the one that really was changing it up the most because of the fact that, yeah, you had you had the stuff of Super Mario Bros. 3 here with all the gameplay mechanics, but then they had a gameplay mechanics from the other ones. They had stuff from Super Mario World. They had stuff from Super Mario Bros. 2, the US version, and they just were kind of twisting stuff around. So it really was very adventurous, but then Nintendo was like, yeah, I don't know what they're thinking on the e-reader thing. That was just bizarre, and it was like, yeah, I felt like I was getting money milked. And I was like, I don't have the stuff to do this. Because remember, you needed another Game Boy Advance to do this. You need to link out with the e-reader. You need another Game Boy Advance or the Game Boy player specific. You needed cables. You needed those cards. And some of the cards were only in Japan. So it's like, now that they released it digitally from Wii U first and now right here, so it has everything. And there's link support. By the way, link cable support in everything Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. So this is better than the Wii U version that I was mentioning. Hey, wouldn't it be nice if they brought it over? Well, they brought it over and they made it better. On top of everything else here, including Metroid Fusion, Margaret Super Circuit, another one I would say needs more love. Zelda Minish Cap was getting a lot more love from people I know because I get the sense that they were all playing this when it came out, as well as Mario Luigi Superstar Saga and WarioWare Mega Micro games. Yeah, and Metroid Fusion just came out 2 days ago, so I'm very happy to have seen that. And actually, all the stuff here, and unlike we said with Nintendo 64, was a question of how they emulating this stuff. Great, they're emulating this terrific. The emulation on this is spot on. In fact, in some ways, it actually might be better than some of the other stuff. In fact, I will show this. They have reproduced classic feel and display with small screen, which I believe, with the small screen, they will basically fit it specifically to how the Game Boy Advance screen was looking, and sort of same with the reproduced classic feel, but it just looks so nice and so sharp. And as we mentioned before, the Game Boy player on the GameCube is not a cheap device to get anymore, unfortunately. So to be able to have an option to play some of these games this way on a TV and looking so nice, man, it definitely is a great feeling, and it's something fantastic to see. As far as us getting to this game, let me mention this to you. Nocturne's going to be involved with anything we do with Super Mario Bros. 3. I will say that right now, because going back a couple years ago, we were planning a play of Super Mario Bros. 3 that fell through. We were still planning about how to do it specifically, and I'm going to float this with her, including when we meet up for Mega Man Legends 2 in about a month, which is, I think we're going to be playing the NES version off of this. I guess we'll play the US version. We'll probably show the Japanese one as well, to an extent. And I think we'll give lip service to the Super Mario All-Stars version that's on the Super Nintendo app in here. And then we got to do all the levels, all the unique stuff of this advanced version, especially since it's now here and it's all in the same system. So I will talk with her about that. I think she'd be all in for that, because if there's any game that she needs to show all her love with, it's that one. Because she has more of a fandom of this one than even I do. And I love Super Mario Bros. 3. It's a great game. The best of the three, probably on the NES. But she grew up with the game. She knows all these things about that even I had no perspective of. So yeah, she's the expert on that. She's the one who's going to be involved with that. And I do have the NES controllers specific for playing the NES version. And I guess for this thing, they don't have specific controllers for the Game Boy stuff because it was a unit. But I guess as far as controller to run, the NES stuff is actually really good for the Game Boy size stuff. And for this, I guess use the Super Nintendo controller or the Switch Pro controller, because in that case, you can remap the buttons. One thing I actually don't think I mentioned ever on the show is that for any of the classic systems controllers, you cannot do custom button mapping to them. So yeah, you can't pull the Super Nintendo controller out on this and say, oh yeah, I want to change the controls so that the Y and the B buttons are swapped specific, so they'll have like the A and B over there. Unfortunately, you can't. But you can play everything from the Game Boy Advance with the Super Nintendo controller. It'll just be mapped to what they were with the A, B, LR, and the start, select, and D-pad buttons. So in that case, yeah, you can use a Super Nintendo controller for this. It might be a good way to play them, honestly. I'll have to figure out as far as what we're going to do for that and what we'll show off on this, which there's definitely stuff here I do think we could show off this way. And actually, this is definitely going to be the way we show off Super Mario Advance 4. So yeah, there you go. So we're definitely going to give it our love for sure eventually, and thank you for that. Like first, last stop we got tonight. Before we get to Dynamite Headdy after about almost 45 minutes. This is short compared to how we did the Wii U War Chest. As I said, giving a little more extra to the show. And an overview of like where does the Switch Online service stand? Because I think now it's doing a lot better for itself. Where at the beginning people were saying like, in fact, you even said this. You said, hey, I'm not feeling the $50 price on this. Nocturne said the same thing. She's not feeling the $50 price. She still has not gotten the Switch Online expansion pack side of things. But with the stuff they've been adding recently, the better emulation they've got on the N64 stuff, the emulation being so great on Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and Sega Genesis, I think it's justifying itself. And also the other perks like the stuff with the Mario Kart DLC, or Mario Kart 8 DLC, that every time it comes out, it's there for me to use as long as I'm still subscribed immediately. So yeah, you're not owning it. Yes, that's true. But for the price, it is giving you more. So I think in some cases, Nintendo's listening to that. And I guess the question next is, are they going to listen to other stuff as far as other games they're going to add? I guess other fixes they might add, like the Yoshi Story thing, but I'm not going to count on that. Or the Pokemon Gen 9 thing, which will go into a couple weeks. But yeah, that's going to be kind of what that's about. And yeah, here we are on the Japanese side, where we are seeing the Japanese box art for some of these things, including Lisa Dragoon. Like, yeah, this looks way different than how it looked for us. Kind of a little better in some ways. It kind of looks more kind of ethereal and angelic, which I guess fits with a lot of the stuff Game Arts tends to do. And we'll see that with Lunar the Silver Star, which are starting next month for our next RPG, or fine, next RPG after Shadow Hearts, I should say. As far as Perceive, just to go on that, the earliest I think we're going to be able to finish that maybe is going to be June, but I'm going to have to talk to Medics on that one just to make sure that we can get that figured. But we will be able to finish that next part, I promise. I'm sorry it got delayed, but hey, if nothing else, we're getting Dynamite Headdy out of the way and prepping ourselves for another treasure game we're doing in a couple months, Guardian Heroes. But yeah, you have like 4 treasure games already on the purpose of the Switch Online service. So yeah, you're getting your treasure love, no question on that. And yeah, most everything else is pretty much the same as the US as far as what they added, except some have different names. There's Zero Wing, which this is what it looked like for Japan. When we play Zero Wing itself, I have the reproduction cartridge that Retrobit did, the same company that did the Mega Man and the Wily Wars that Nocturne has. I have this one. It actually goes for a lot of money. There's now, from what I've understood, actually the Toa Plant stuff, a lot of those ones they did cost quite a bit. And for that case, we'll show it off that way. But yeah, other stuff, let's see. Yeah, Story of Thor, so that's what Beyond Oasis was for Japan as well. So yeah, it's like 3 different names for itself. Shining Force 2, there's Light Crusader, looks, some ways maybe more plain than the US version, but yeah, there's the other one of Treasures, which is an RPG, weirdly enough. Earthen Gym was not in the US, or not in Japan, I should say, so I guess it didn't get a box art. And then lastly, yeah, fine, in Japanese it's showing the 2 hours and 1 minute, I guess, or no, 14 minutes, I guess. They played the Japanese version of Contra Hardcore, on not counting the however many hours I put into it on the Contra Anniversary Collection. So yeah, practicing Contra Hardcore, that's coming September. But for now, here's what we're playing. We're playing Dynamite Headdy, which I mentioned came out in 1994 for Sega Genesis and Game Gear. We got the Genesis version on tap for you tonight. I do have that Game Gear version. At some point, we'll definitely show it. I just have to get a Retron 5 so I can put the Game Gear cartridges into that. But yeah, let's get started on this baby after about 47 minutes. But I think it was a good overview. And it's good to look also at the Japanese version because there's story content that's not in the US version that I also did not show when we first played this about almost 3 years ago. And yeah, we have to show off this game because I mentioned when we overviewed it a couple months ago, this is probably one of the most important games we played for the show, and I'll tell you why. But in the meantime, I'm going to let the intro play as I talk about who made this and some of the inspirations that went to this. As I mentioned, this came out in 1994 for Sega Genesis and Game Gear. There's a Sega Master System version of this that came out in Brazil, because Brazil is a huge one as far as the Sega Master System, where they take like the Game Gear versions of games and transition them over to that specific. I'll play the demo, so don't worry about that. I'll let that go. It was produced by Koichi Kamura, as I mentioned. He was a graphic designer on Castlevania The Adventure, Operation C, and another treasure game we played for the show, McDonald's Treasure Adventure, and he was also the writer on Guardian Heroes, played a couple months, and the director on Onimusha 4, Dawn of Dreams. He wanted an original project to work on. As we mentioned that was what happened with Treasure. They were from Konami. They said, we want to do original stuff. Konami said, no, just make the games and franchises because they'll sell. They had a point in the sense that they'd sell because they're established, but they said, we want to try something else, which is why they went to Sega to get stuff going on like Guardian Heroes eventually, and Gunstar Heroes, and this, and White Crusader. And then they did license games. We mentioned we did the McDonald's Treasure Adventure game and the Yu Yu Hakusho game that Japan got. So they did do licensed stuff, and stuff that was based on stuff that was previously established. But they said, I guess they wanted to kind of freshen their blood a little bit for the purpose of that. And the idea mainly with Headdy, as you're seeing, he's going through the demo. He shoots his head out, and he hits head case there, and we'll see him in a bit. He changes his head to different skills that he has. And that was the idea. They said, we want a character who can throw his body at people. And that was where the idea of Headdy came from. They said, fine, you throw your head at people. And also, that's also the reason why we had the whole puppet motif of this game as it was. And here's something I found very interesting. This is when I went in the intro play. As we see, one of the levels you're going to see is he has empty head where you're invincible when that happens. And that robot is inspired by French actress Catherine Deneuve. I'm not joking. We'll go into that later. But this game, from what I understand, I did not know this until I was looking it up. And I'm very fascinated with this. And this is why I'll do the research on the games I'm going to play. Because sometimes it's a surprise to me what they're going to be revealing. Sometimes in good ways, sometimes in not good ways. But in the case of this one, it's an interesting way because, from what I understood, Kamura said that the inspiration of this game visually was the works of Terry Gilliam. I'm not sure if you know who he is, but if you don't, he was the director of a bunch of movies, including Monty Python the Holy Grail. In fact, he was part of the Monty Python group at the time in the 1970s. And he also made other movies like The Fisher King, 12 Monkeys, and most recently, The Man Who Killed Don Quixote, which is a movie he was trying to get made for his entire life, or my entire life, basically, like 8 years, pretty much. And he finally got it made in 2019 and released after, God, hell. And it was going all over the place to the point they made like 2 different documentaries about them making that. But the idea of this game is, you're like, what do you mean, Terry Gilliam? That seems like a weird mixture. The idea of, I don't know, think about like the night. Actually, maybe that's the idea of where the knights are coming from, where they have the female screams, the when they fall off the side of things. Like, remember in My Father and the Holy Grail, you know, the Black Knight there, like, he just cuts off all of his body parts. Like, no, 'tis only a flesh wound. Maybe that's what we're getting at, but from what I've understood, there's an interview with Koichi Kamura where he mentioned this, and I'll link to this. He was saying that he liked the way that Gilliam's movies have a perspective of these very artistic and surreal-looking worlds within the real world. And I think maybe that's the idea, because we're in this weird town. You're seeing those, like, strongmen coming out of the windows over there. And if you ever saw the movie The Fisher King, which is a movie I owe another view of, it's a movie I didn't like the first 2 times I saw it. But I know people who would say it's one of their favorite movies of all time. There's great things about it, no question. But one thing I definitely can say about it, the idea of its mixture of the real world and this fantastic world of Robin Williams, who's in that movie, along with Jeff Bridges. Yeah, it was Jeff Bridges in that one. And I always get him and Jeff Daniels confused, but either way, the idea that you have this kind of fantasy world that Robin Williams is involved in or thinking he's part of, contrasting that with the real world, and you kind of get it out of Dynamite Headdy here a little bit. But yeah, I think with that, when she does her thing right there, we'll go to the game specific, which, as I mentioned, Hiroshi Aso direction, and what else? The music. Let's talk the music. The music was done by a bunch of people. It was Katsushiko Suzuki, who did the music for McDonald's Treasure Adventure, Guardian Heroes, and that Yu Yu Hakusho game, which was called Yu Yu Hakusho Makio Toitsutsen, and was also the music director on a lot of the pop music games, as well as Koji Yamada, who did the music for Gundam Side Story on the Dreamcast, a lot of the Digimon World games, actually, and Go Vacation on the Wii, and Rhythm Heaven Fever. And then Aki Hata, who we heard for other games before. Actually, nothing we played on the show yet, but she did the music for Bangai-O, which is on the Dreamcast and the Nintendo 64. It's Japan only for Nintendo 64. Well, it's going dim. So yeah, it's telling me, yeah, get on with the game already. Yeah, just a second. There's a lot of people I gotta give credit for this game for, so I'm gonna do that. Yeah, Hata also did the music for Light Crusader, which showed over there, Contra 3 The Alien Wars, the title theme of Soul Blade on PlayStation, or Soul Edge from the arcade, and music for a game I want to get to, and I think I'm going to need a Game Genie for this one, and especially because it hasn't been re-released, Rocket Knight Adventures for the Sega Genesis. And then the last piece of music, or musician involved in this, whose work we have heard when we played Gunster Heroes, was Nario Hanzawa, who also did the music for Alien Soldier, which you saw over there, the Simpsons arcade game, Silhouette Mirage, and Astro Boy the Mega Factor for the Game Boy Advance, which is talking about another underrated one on Game Boy Advance, but hard as nails. After Alien Soldier, it might be the hardest game that Treasure's made. Fine, maybe that and Ikaruga. But the first game that Hanzawa did was Aftermath 2 on the F Towns. So I think it's the first time I've ever mentioned that on the show. And the only other person involved in music, yeah, there's a lot of people involved, was this person called Yasuko. That's all I could find. The credits don't say anything else. Nothing I found online say anything else. But yeah, there's quite a soundtrack to this game. There's some terrific pieces of music we're going to hear as we go along. And you're also wondering one thing, which is why we're using the Japanese version if there's an English version that's harder. Well, because the story changed significantly. Not only did the difficulty change because Sega America said, no, you make this game harder for us so we can get people to buy it. And keep that idea of Sega getting involved in the back of your mind for a little later. But they also changed a lot of stuff with story and with graphics, and we're going to see that. Even when I come down here to the title screen, kind of a small thing to see this. He pulls the title over, it says press start button for Japan, it said press start for Japan. Oh, no, for US. I don't know why. Also doing the stage select code, which you hit CA left, right, and B for, it does not let you select individual stages, you can only select worlds in the Japanese version. But that being said, let's take a quick look at the controls. A is your head cancel, B is your attack, and C is your jump, and your sound test, because the sound is amazing. And it's quite a high quality of audio and sound and voice acting, like with Gunstar Heroes. Alright, let's get going. Enough for the preamble. As we get in the opening demo playing, this part is mostly the same as the US version. In fact, I got the instruction manual of the US version right next to me, which I bought from my local Blockbuster video store in 1996, I believe. But yeah, we got stuff going on here in town as we're hearing names of people we're going to see later, and the town's in flames. Yeah, this is the Treasure Theater show. Diamond Headdy's the star, but there's this guy backstage named Trouble Bruin, and he's the henchman of Dark Demon, who's trying to take over the place with this robot, and I guess also with the Keymasters, you can see later. That's not the Japanese continuity, as far as how the story is. It's a bit different. We're going to get into that later, and unlike the US version, there are text boxes everywhere in this game going into what the story is. Because we're running on this, it is all in Japanese. I don't know Japanese as well as I used to. As I mentioned, we played the Mystical Ninja Story and Goemon play. But I printed out 7 pages worth of the script. Now there's a long script, but we're still doing that for the show. And I'll tell you what the story is, and we're seeing what's going on here. So yeah, in Dark Demon's world, we have to toss the puppets out in the trash. We don't like them. The hot female puppets, yeah, they can go. Definitely fine. That is not muted necessarily in the US version, as you might think, but Headdy's like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, I'm getting tossed. Alright, so yeah, we are in the Dust Cargo. This looks maybe familiar from a couple months ago, but yeah, we're playing the full game this time, so don't worry about it. Good job, Treasure, so they say. But yeah, we're busting out. And finally, getting started as the Escape Hero, or as it's called in the US version, the Getaway. Most of the levels in the US version are named after movies. That one being the Getaway from 1972 with Steve McQueen in it. And I guess the remake that came out the same year as this game did. We're seeing this beautiful look of color. Oh my god, and the music. That's why I spent time prepping on this one. Okay. So yeah, my other puppet friend's being captured by that robot. He has a key on the front of him. Hit him. You don't necessarily have to hit him, but I want to show this. Yeah, you hear me tapping that B button. Yeah, B is shooting your head out, moving left and right with D-pad. A cancels heads when you get cancel cases going on. And see if you're jumping. Boom, 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 boom. He's dead. Now with that, you've got a secret bonus point. Yeah, when you hear that, you get bonus points. They're secrets. They don't do much, though. They are like the points in Whose Line Is It Anyway. They don't matter. And you don't get extra lives for getting them, so the satisfaction is hearing that voice. It's good to hear that. If any games need more love and attention, I'd say this one, although this game, I guess, sold pretty decently. Yeah, playing will shoot out stuff and orbs here. If you stay to the right like that, you'll never get hit. They will hurt you, but, yeah, in that case, we got that set. And also, we didn't see Bino, who's part of the stage crew. He sometimes flies through here like Superman, but not this time. I think it's randomly appears. Alright, fine. The stage collapsed, and we got... yeah, text box. Alright, yeah. This is what I'm needing my water for. Also, you get to hear the theme of Maruyama, as Trouble Bruin is known. Now he looks, because, yeah, in the US version, he's a brown cat. In the case of this one, he's a purple bear, from what I understand. And weirdly enough, the Game Gear version we got here has the character sprite stuff from this Japanese version. Which was weird to me. I said, wait a second, why is Trouble Bruin purple? Then I played the Genesis version first, I played that one. Then I realized, oh wait, it's this Japanese version that does it. Alright, let's start reading some Japanese with the translation I got. Wahaha, fool. This is the first time we've ever met. I thought I should make an awe-inspiring appearance, or entrance. My name is Maruyama. The Emperor has the utmost confidence in me, and I'm one of his top henchmen. Here, let's see if you can take my super burning fireball ramming attack. There's a little bit for show, I will show that in just a second, is, yeah, Headdy's like, well, what the hell's going on here? He needs a coffee. As the stage is being brought in. Oh, okay. I want to explain that, because I want to check something for that. Okay, he's putting that energy in. On the 4th jump, jump over. He'll shut those orbs out. Shockingly, they don't hurt you at all. None of them. I was jumping as these come in. Let me show you this again. He only takes 2 hits, by the way, to hit him after that. He does the slide do that. You're invincible to these in this version. In the US version, you're not. Not only does he, do those hurt you, he also shoots up way more of them. So yeah, in this case, like, yeah, we can deal with a fireball attack. It does nothing. Just hit him twice and boom, he's dead. Oh, that is a great piece of music. I didn't let you hear the full up. Alright, so though we're in the level, get stage points, you get time points for how quickly you get through, and your secret bonus points. I believe they're worth 3,000 a pop. I don't know if we're gonna get all the secret bonus points, but at the very least, I will tell you where they are. And there's no cheer, by the way, here. In the US version, there is. Also, unlike the US version, you do start with continues. And also, you do not have an H in the life icon up there, which is your spotlight. It starts at green, goes to red. If it goes out, you're dead. As we're in the area of 3 friends, or the practice series, the US calls it. Okay, so we have our 3 friends. We're gonna go through all of these. These are tutorials, but you want to do these because you'll get secret bonus points. If you've never played this game, it'll give you a sense of how it works. Alright, first we're seeing Mokun, which is translated out to Headcase for the US version. Hey, is that you, Headdy? So you escaped and made it back here, huh? You have to leave now? Okay. Then let me assist you from here on out. You power up your head by hitting any of the items in my box. Want to give it a try? You can say, uh-huh, or you can say, I'll pass. as far as the translation of this, I think there is an English translation online. Oh, no, there is. I think that's what they based it off of. So yeah, I don't actually know Japanese well enough to read this. Just to make that perfectly clear. But I said, fine, if we're gonna do it this way, I wanna give the full story context to this, so we're gonna do that. So yeah, unlike the US version, you have a choice to do this. When you come in here in the US, you just have to do this always. But yeah, you have a choice to do it, so like, yeah, we'll do it. Good. Take some items from this box and try to beat the enemies that appear. Since you'll keep going till you run out of energy, it's okay to take as many items as you want. Alrighty then, start. Okay, so we have a 48 over there. You have to kill all the enemies here. I have the empty head. You're invincible and you have that. Unless you fall in a pit. That's the warhead, which shoots out stars out there. That's the detector head, which is like the warhead, but not as good. You have to wait until the fire comes out that way. And go and hit the A button to get rid of it. Also, hit the vacuum head. Suck everything up. And then there is the bomb head. It causes tons of damage, but when the fuse is on your head, make sure to hit the B button to toss it out, or you're gonna hurt badly. As well as the hammerhead. So basically, pretty much a practice how this is operating. The hammerhead does double the damage of stuff, especially as the toy soldiers get stronger. Ow. And he'll keep changing his heads like that. For this, if your health goes into the red, you fail. You just have to try it again, so it's not a problem. It's harder in the US version because your health goes down way faster. But even there, I mean, totally reckless. Alright, fine. We'll also get, okay, that's the empty head, so in that case, I can just be completely reckless. But, yeah, I want to get the pig head. Basically, just shoot stars out of your snout. Ow! If you just have to hit all of them, but I got them. And by doing that, you get secret bonus points. Congratulations, you beat them all. Take the secret bonus point as present. Still got a ways to go, but you can figure the rest out during your adventure. See you soon. Alright, see you later, Headcase. Alright, yeah, they're the three doors, as I said. There is, Hangman and Bo. Let's take a look at Hangman next. Or, Fukun, as he's known from Japan. Oh, it's Headdy, so you actually managed to escape. They seem surprised that I escaped, and remember, none of this is in the US version. And, it was interesting kind of reading what the story of this was, because of how they translated it. It made me realize, wait, there's much more of a lore to this than I expected. We're all about that on the show, so I said, fine, let's show it off this way. What? You're leaving already? Alright, I'll help you out too. First glance, it may seem certain places are inaccessible. If you clamp onto me, you may be able to get there. Then you'll be able to reach high places, pull floating objects towards yourself, and do other things like that. They don't actually explain this part. There are text boxes, by the way, here for the US. I will clarify that, but they're just talking basic elements for that. Alright, so, what do you think? Give it a try? Course or nope? Course. Excellent. The race will begin when we start climbing. You make the climb, then great. But if you fall, it's gonna be a long way down. Okay, let's go. Yeah, basically, here's Hangman. Shoot your head onto him and let go. And you can kind of do fancy footwork, because remember, with your head, you can shoot it in any direction when you're in the air. Kind of like Rice Star a little bit. Or any direction that's... Actually, no, any direction except straight down when you're not. As he mentioned, you can also pull in the platforms toward yourself. Okay, so basically just keep going. It's an auto-scroller, but unlike in other games where you die when you hit the bottom of the screen, not in this one. You just bounce up from there and take damage. So it's like how Gunstar Heroes did, actually. And fitting because both of these games kind of came out close to each other. And had all the same people from Treasure working on them. So I guess it makes sense. Oh, yeah, that was weird. You saw that, right? It looked like Headdy's head was... Okay, fine, let me show that again. Usually his head is, like, showing as, like, it's biting onto him. Yeah, so, but Hangman's fine. He's not getting hurt. But it looked like his head was just straight and, fine, you know... Yeah, it's tilting like that, by the way. And if you get too far, it'll come off. So you can use that to your advantage. As long as you don't let go of the B button, you'll be fine. Or, you know, like, just do that. Also, if you run out of health too much, you'll be in trouble. Yeah, these crazies, like, yeah, sometimes you have to do it in air. It's like, yeah, I'll have to get ready to that, and then shoot on that one, that one, and that one. And with some fancy footwork, as I mentioned, like with Rice Star, you can kind of make this game look really fancy and easy. Or kind of skilled, although, like, yeah, I'm just letting myself fall constantly. Like, whoop, whoop. Yeah, just do that, just show off suspense and jump on the goal, and we got it. Yeah, but this is practice, so yeah, it's not going to be an issue with this one. Not bad. I will now follow you for the rest of your life. Okay, I guess you're a fan? Or stalker? One of the two. I don't know. Here's a secret bonus point. If you see me during your adventure, be sure to grab onto me. Alright, we will. No problem. Alright, yeah, I am turning the page on the 7 pages stapled I have for this. As we face Bo. Or fine, run into Bo, I should say. Or Yakun, as is known in Japan. Oh, it's Headdy, isn't it? You got away, huh? They all know about me getting away. It's like, okay, I don't know. Do they just have, like, card games like, man, I can't believe that Headdy got away. Well, fine. I guess everybody else would have gotten incinerated specifically. Or actually, if I didn't let the robot, or if I didn't destroy the robot on the first level, I guess what would happen to the other puppets? They'd be just tossing the burner, so. Alright. What's that? You're going to the Emperor's Castle? I see. Then I'll lend you a hand as well. There are daunting keymasters at the end of some areas. I'll show you their weak points. You want to practice? Yes or no? Yes. Although, actually, that is more than just yes they're saying there as far as the translation, so I guess I'm starting to think that maybe the translation that I found online is not exactly 100% to this, because, look, if it was yes, fine, I'll give you a brief Japanese lesson a little bit. In Japanese, yes is hai, H-A-I, and no is ie, I-E. Yeah, I-E specifically. That is not what those symbols are. I do remember that a little bit as far as my teaching, so, but this is what the translation said, so fine. This is a loose interpretation, either way. Alright, great. So, very well. Test your reflexes. Move straight at the place they point to. Alright, so yeah, whenever, Bo shoots there, it says, target! Yeah, aim down and hit him. Edwax said this specifically when I was doing practice on this game, because he knew I was doing this. He knew I've been doing this game for a while. I was gonna play this. He said, like, did anybody think that was, did no one on the dev team think this was annoying? He was like, sorry, I don't think it is. In this case, yeah, pretty much just pay attention where it is, and as you go along, it'll go faster. As long as you get the diagonals going, which on the Sega Genesis controller is actually not that bad to do, because actually there's some pretty big diagonal gaps on it. On any Genesis controller you play, whether it's on the Switch one that I have for this, or the traditional one. It's not too bad to do that. I mean, even on the 360 where it has a not-so-good for diagonals D-pad, which I have because there's a 360 collection that has it, the Sonic Soul from Genesis collection. It's something that, it still works okay. I think that's just because of how insanely precise these controls are. Boom, boom. And by the way, as you kill them, they will get, they'll change color. They'll get to the, black and, purple hats. The black one means the second to last one. The purple one means the last one, but if you don't hit it quickly enough, the shell will close, but I got them. With no misses. Beautiful. Alrighty. Congratulations. A reward for me, here's a secret bonus point. I'll appear when your opponent is a keymaster, so brace yourself for a tough battle. Not in this version, we're not. Alright, let's get going. Alright, so now we're in the, town here. It's like, yeah, that guy on the top's like, what's going on? Hell if I know. And that woman's crying, so let's take care of this. We go to North Town, or Toys in the Hood for, the US. So, take off on Boys in the Hood, the John Singleton picture from 1991. Wonderful film, that one. But yeah, just going through town, and we're gonna just go around trying to find stuff. There's 500, that's, 500 points when you get that. You also knock them off and, kill them that way. And every time you hit that head, you'll go, nice! Yeah, as I mentioned, the points don't really matter, so just get them for the purpose of getting them. Yeah, they can block, but like, yeah, it's not gonna do much. Also, I will show off, see, here's the thing, I'll show off as many of the secret bonus points as I can. Right there's the guy on the towers. Actually, I actually never stopped long enough to see him do that thing with the eye. Alright, now, I can kill him from here. I have to go up there and hit the orb down to crush the tower, but if I shoot it, knock the tower like this, knock him off, there you go, there's a secret bonus point. You can also use the, oh, what, whoa, what was that? You saw that, right? What happened there? I've never seen that before. I guess it was glitching downwards. Okay, I'm glad I got that on tape, I really am. As I was mentioning, though, you can also use the pig head. It shoots in a figure 8 when there's no targets nearby. It'll home in on the nearest target. You can kill it from here, you will not get the secret bonus point doing that, though. And there's the triple head, it shoots out 3. Okay, I can't get over what that was, what I just saw. Okay, yeah, knock it back. Boom, boom. Just knock the ball there. And if you have the hammerhead, one hit of that will knock down the tower. And the game loves advertising itself, that's for sure. Oh yeah, fall down. Alright, that's a banana. That will give you a recovery of your health. Oh, shit. Alright, one thing we are going to do, because here's the deal. There's something specific for the ending we have to do. So you have to play the bonus game. You hit the B there, that's the Liberty Head. Let's play some basketball, because hey, the 90s were all about basketball. It says get 5 items, or in the US version it says get 5 baskets, or make 5 baskets, which makes more sense. And fight. Yeah, we're not really fighting much. We're fighting, our 2 basketball shooting machines. They'll shoot up like that, and then they'll, as far as orange you can hit them, they'll go blue and hit the ground. Those will be bombs that pop out of that. If the bombs hit you, they hurt, and if you lose too much health, you're screwed. Also, don't hit the A button here, otherwise you quit out of this. I don't know why they added that. That was a horrible idea from them, specific. What you gotta do is hit the balls when they're orange like that, and bounce them up in the air, and get them into the hoops that have the stars on them. That'll give you points. You want to avoid the one with the key there, because that will make one of these ball machines explode. If both of them explode, you're done. You also get that thing with the 1 there, whatever that is at the top, which is slow motion. So if you get that, it'll slow down the speed of the shit. The speed of the what was it? The basket's going. And the basketball means that more basketballs will go. So yeah, since I stupidly hit that into the basket with the key into it, I only have 1 ball machine to work from. Usually you can kind of just shoot it straight up. Usually. And you kind of want to do that just so you can get a case of it. Also pay attention to where the key is, because it is on an interval. After every 3-star baskets on the bottom, the key will be there. There'll never be any key stuff on the top row. So it's one thing at least to keep in mind. It's like, yeah, I'm just waiting here. It's like, fine, there's that. So as long as I can just wait for that 3. So then, unless you're really cavalier about it, like I tend to be, or you get really unlucky with it bouncing like that, you will be okay and not run into it blowing up your ball machine. Look, I could also use the rewind for this, but yeah, I'm not going to do that. And if I just screw this up, I have other opportunities to get these points. You do have to do this 4 times in order to get the best ending, or find the final boss battle, let's put it that way. And you'll see what that is, because I am going to show that off. I showed it off when I played this game 3 years ago, and I will show it off again here. It works the same way, and it also is a case where it doesn't really change much as far as difficulty, but alright, come on. Yeah, now I just want to be careful, because I blew up the other machine by accident. But you only need to make 5, so it's not going to be too bad. You get to enjoy more of the training mode music. I do love this piece of music. Dang, I just love this entire soundtrack. Oh! Also, one other thing to note, if you get the basket into the ones that have the slow motion or the basketball, those do not... Whoa! Oh, hold on. I thought I heard something like a sound. What was that? It sounded like there was like a target or something. I'm gonna have to look back on the playback of this. Just to see what that's like. Okay, yeah, just wait. Okay, there's 5. Perfect. Alright, got 5 baskets. Alright, secret number. It says remember in the US version. I gotta take these down. We're doing the old-fashioned way. I'm actually writing it down on a piece of paper. I could also hit... you know what? I could do it this way. Fine, I'll show this. Do the capture on the Switch thing. It's like, fine, I took a picture of that, and there you go. Oh, yeah, pause that, but no, we don't need to pause that. Yeah, 3 more times we gotta do that. By the way, when you have the bonus game finished, either by you winning or losing, it goes off of where a head case is. So if you failed, you have to find them again. If you don't fail, it's just gone, and that's it. And if you fail too many times, you won't be able to get the best ending, but I'm gonna make sure that doesn't happen. Alright, I'm also going over this way, because there's low life. That's the Eddie, that's the Heady puppet. I don't know why I say Eddie puppet. And you can kind of tell it is a little bit of a stage here, because like you have tears in the background there. But you have to hit this ball down to crush the soldiers there. Also go up here because there is health. Although, if I do run out of health, which honestly on the Japanese version is not really going to be much of a factor, there's another way to get it. Also the super head. You jump faster and run, or you jump higher and run faster. And also avoid the feet there. Almost looks like, if you remember, like the fancy footwork thing from Double Dare, where you have the feet going through. Alright, here is the boss here, mini-boss. This is, Catherine Degueur, who's named after Catherine Deneuve, the famous French actress, and you can tell that that because of its sex appeal. It is using its metallic breast to suck me in, and you have to run out of the way, and that is the intention of what that is. Just keep hitting it while it does that, while it's doing the breast pull-in, or the breast push-out. I forgot it does that too. Yeah, there's a sentence I never thought I was gonna say. Yeah, you just have to run against it. You can't hit it. Or hit her. But she's dead. And when you kill her, the 2 minions come out of the cage. Kill them both. They're both secret bonus points. Also, here's Sleepyhead. If you ever get tired or losing health, hit this, and you can go to sleep. You can wait it out to get the full recovery, or you can hit the A button while you're recovering to wake up. But if you're in areas where there are enemies and they hit you, you'll wake up and you'll get hurt. Also, you have Pinhead, which is tiny. We can go down that hole there to finish the level. And this will not cancel, by the way. I think the A button's not doing anything. But it's because you have to use that. The other way is that you can use this. This is the Spike Head. You can use this to climb walls. You gotta do is you have to shoot it into the wall, then let go. and basically shoot it into it again, and make sure you release the B button as you climb the wall and before it goes off screen. It took me a while to understand how to run the spike head, but you actually have to use it if you're getting one of the secret bonus points here, which I'll show. Actually, technically I sort of showed this off when we did the preview of this game a few months ago. But yeah, we have to fight, Snake Eyes, as he's called. What you gotta do is you have to hit the parts of his tail off. There is also a head case right here, so, what you do want to wait for, you want to get that. That's the ticker head. You have a free shot of him during the time limit here, which is about 5 or so seconds. Yeah, in that case, you can kill him really quickly. And killing him is a secret bonus point. There's also items there for the small path. You can't go back to that, so yeah. The reason to go here is for the secret bonus point, so just do that. And they both take you out the same place. So here's the concert hall, and... okay, I didn't know I could go in the... Wait. I didn't know I could go behind the wall. Shit, okay, so remember how we mentioned last week with, I think we mentioned this last week, how you play a game for so long, you can find new things out about it you never knew before. Yeah, Color Me Surprise, I didn't know that was something you could do with this game. Alright, fine, we are off to the next area, which is Concert Panic, or Mad Dog and Headdy, which is named after the movie Mad Dog and Glory. Yeah, some of the references are really weird. But, anyway. Here's Maruyama again. Wahaha! He keeps saying that, by the way. Surprise, you probably thought you'd beat me last time. I was a little unprepared then, but this time will be different. I don't know whose concert hall this is, but it'll be your graveyard. Let's go. But this is Bounty Boundy, or Mad Dog. Who dares to trespass in my hall? Hey, you're that scrap puppet who escaped. What in the world could that good-for-nothing bounty hunter be doing? So yeah, Maruyama got crushed by him, so that's what he's doing, just sitting down there. Doesn't matter. I'll capture and claim the reward from the Emperor myself. Alright, so this is our boss here. Mostly the same, except for the color palette here. As you're playing the Nutcracker March from... I think it's the Nutcracker March. Okay, fine. It's part of the Nutcracker by Tchaikovsky. Which is fitting, because we had that... Well, fine. We had the Swan Lake thing with McDonald's Treasureland Adventure. Now, what you do here, hit him in the tail, but I'm waiting specifically for something specific. Alright, fine. I'll use that. Just hit that there, and you get him. But... he'll do a couple things. He'll throw out stuff. He'll throw the bomb out. You do get the ticker head. By the way, when he bounces up, he bounces down. That crush down like that can hurt you. So be careful not to let that happen to you. Or you can use the tiny head like that, because actually, I think when he does this, yeah, you will not get hit. Oh, shit! Okay, he did what I wanted him to do way earlier than I thought he would. Yeah, he drops Bino out. He's part of the stage scenery. He's usually around every boss. If you hit him off, he is a secret bonus point. Yeah, actually, in that case, we can finish this boss way faster than I thought I would have to. Because sometimes you have to wait around for that thing. And actually, the next boss specific is going to be a case of that. And actually, I learned I think there's an exploit to make it so that it goes faster. Because otherwise, you could be sitting there for like 10 minutes. While getting those, okay, I guess they're dogs of the wheel. Okay, that's weird. Actually, I don't even know if I stopped and looked at that specifically. But yeah, the orchestra is still going well back there. Ow. Yeah, fine, we'll ticker head this thing. Alright, he's dead. I cannot believe it! And when that happens, skip the debris. And when you hear her say, "You've got another try," that means you gotta continue. In the US version, you need to do that because you do not have continues at the start of it. In this version, you do. I believe you start with 2. In the US version, yeah, you have none. So if you lose all your lives, that's game over if you don't do this. Right, there you go. There are all the secret bonus points, and there is World 2 done. In just a second, we're going to get into a little bit more of story, and also, on top of that, we're also going to get into why this show is named what it is. I've told this story before, we're telling it again for this game, because this is the game we came up with the name. Alright, but here's Heather, or she's known as Fingy for the Japanese version. She says, "Thank you," and blows me a kiss for the key. That was a keymaster we beat. She took the key. He's like, "Why'd she take it?" Well, we'll find out later. Okay, so next is the Fire Carnival, or Down Under, as is known in the US continuity. So I guess it's a take on the song by Men at Work. Now, one thing I also want to do is I want to look for where the... Yeah, there's a specific orb that's going to come out of this second machine. Yeah, I'm going to show off all the secret bonus points I can, damn it, because, yeah, just to show it. Yeah, sometimes it takes some time for them to go. Oh, yeah, got it. Get that smiley face, that is a secret bonus point. Okay, let me explain this. Let me take you back 3 years about. To July 2020. I streamed this game the first time. Nikki, who's gonna be on the show next week, is gonna be playing Freddy Fish, Case of the Missing Kelp Seeds, and Case of the Haunted Schoolhouse for us. She was in the chat. She said, quote, "The name of the show should be called Super Bowl Game Saturday." And that is how our show got its name. It was this level. It was this section. I remember it vividly. So yeah, this is not the same stream we had before. It also has definitely better audio tech than we had back then with the old PC speaker thing of mine. PC microphone. Yeah, way better now. But yeah, that is how it came to be. Also, here's the section here. We have to destroy these things with the tilting platform. So it's doing a little 3D stuff. Kind of hard to hit that. So if you're not good with depth perception, you might not like this very much. Also, in the US version, headcase is not there. So you do not have any assistance here. So you have to do this fresh. Or, ow, shit. Okay, thank God falling in a pit is not a death. So yeah, in that case, I can be a little more reckless. Okay, fine. It also, okay, fine. One other thing, I guess it makes it a little awkward to hit headcase here. Fine, okay, he's named something different, as I mentioned, for Japan. Fine, I'm calling him headcase. Beat 3 of those, you go on. Alright, there we go. Okay, so there's that guy, the puppet, and yeah, we're getting to the end. Yeah, so I said, this is why this is an important game for Super Bowl Game Saturday, because yeah, the name of the show came from this game, and I thank Nikki for that for sure. Next is the backstage battle, which is named the same, actually, for the US version. This is one of the few levels they did not change the name for. Anyway, wahaha, now you made me really angry. Time has come to put an end to your little adventure. What a pathetic hero to have your story end backstage like this. Let's begin the next scene now. Time for Dynamite Maruyama's entrance. Alrighty. Here's how this boss works. Okay, you also hit that red cat. I'm surprised he shot that out right away. That's a secret bonus point for this stage. You have to aim out where the, aim out where his head is, so he goes, oops. And you're on this hook there. By the way, also when it extends out like that, you get the arrow. Hold down the D-pad when it's holding that so you don't hit into the ceiling and get yourself hurt. And you also have to switch it upwards. I didn't take a hit doing that. Shit, okay. It is insanely hard to do that, because you can also move up and down while doing this to feasibly avoid getting hit by stuff. And get, headcase over there. You want to get super head if you can, because then you can hit him from a far distance. Or get warhead, because the stars will come out. In fact, can I get warhead? Yeah, you're kind of going all over the place. And you hear this great boss music here. Whoop. Yeah, alright, yeah, you can go, ouch! By hitting into the bottom of the area that he's dragging me through. Yeah, the Game Gear version's worse, because I believe it's impossible to avoid getting hit for the version of that here. So if you come in with your health bar not full, you're gonna die. And that's not cool, unless there's a way to mitigate that, which I'm not aware of. I mean, when we get to that Game Gear version at some point, maybe I can find out about it. Whoa! He also takes more hits for the US version for this, I will say that for sure. Whoa! Whoa, whoa. Yeah, the way to kind of avoid getting hit by, this, or to avoid hitting into the ceiling or into the floor, you have to know when that arrow's gonna change, because it always goes down and then upwards. You basically have to wait until that happens. Yeah, and I killed him by doing absolutely nothing because of Warhead. Yeah, so good old Warhead shooting those out as we're at the guest area, or the Green Room, which I believe is named after a movie from the 70s. And look, we got another bonus game, so let's take it. Alright, as we go along, feel free, chat, to go into anything you got on Dynamite Headdy or any thoughts on what you're seeing. And hopefully we can not get the machine destroyed here. I mean, hey, I got the other one fine, it's just that, I don't want to have it go that close. Oh, shit! Okay, I had to open my big mouth, shit. But fine, as long as I'm careful, I'll be fine. Or, I can just say, fine, I can just be alright with losing here. Because you will have sort of enough opportunities to get it, but you can't screw up too many. I think you have 2 other opportunities if you miss. So, yeah, just have to be careful. Oh! Yeah, basically, if you see it going into that, basket there, just pretty much jump and shoot upwards. This is where it's gonna put your skills of shooting your head upwards to the test. That's one thing I do like about it, for sure, but yeah, it's, if you're not careful, like I'm clearly not being, it might not be a fun time. Oh! Alright, come on. Okay, at least to show the basketball. When you hit the basketball, by the way, it'll shoot out more basketballs or bombs feasibly in rapid succession. Which will make it easier to get a bunch of shots, but also gonna make it easier to get yourself screwed falling into the keyhole. Or the key basket, I should say. I should get that right. Oh! Okay, I guess I shot one of those. Yeah, remember, the balls will not go in the baskets if you don't hit them. It's only after you hit them to become active. Come on. I am halfway there, if nothing else. And it does go by increments of 5, so the last one we're going to do is going to be 20, and the next is 15. As I mentioned, if you take too much damage from the bombs, you lose. But that's not going to be a factor right now. The last one it will be, because at least in my experience, regardless of what version you're playing, it seems like there's tons of bombs that pop out for that last one. Yeah, now it's also go off the rim. Remember, it does have to go through the hoop to count. So yeah, this is an interesting way of more basketball stuff on this show. Yeah, we have not done basketball much, except for Slam City Scottie Pippen, another Sega game from 1994. Weirdly enough. But, oh! Okay, I thought I was screwed. I thought I hit that in the basket. Or into the key basket, I should say. Yeah, I'll have to do more stuff with basketball. I mean, I do want to do NBA Jam Tournament Edition at some point, because I have it on 32X. And I'd like to show that version off. I know Proto wanted to see that. Maybe he'll want to be in on that one. I'll have to talk to him about that. Because, yeah, he's going to be on the show in a couple weeks, by the way. So, that'll make sense that way. And then I guess other stuff basketball-based. I want to show Looney Tunes B-Ball off on the Super Nintendo, that for sure. Because it's actually like NBA Jam, but with Looney Tunes. Actually, it's really, really good. We'll figure stuff. And as I said, more stuff with sports. As you mentioned, it's something like we haven't touched much with sports. But I think we can definitely justify doing stuff with that. While getting a little bit of taste with stuff like this. Also, yeah, you can do more than what they ask for if you get multiple baskets in at the end of it. Like, I got 11, so yeah. Why do 10 when it's 11? Yeah, why 11? Yeah, like, how's it better than 10? These go up to 11. Yeah, they do. And that went up to 11 too, is good at 3. So there we go, that is our second of the secret numbers. Let's go on to boss here. Oh, fine, the mid-boss here, because most every level has a boss. It's probably worth pointing out. Also, one other thing, when you come out of the bonus stage, your health is recovered completely automatically on that. Alright, let's get ready for our puppet show. Alright, we've been invited to the battle show. As we're getting some really weird stuff. Like, I'm thinking Zoltar from Big coming out of the machine there, like, giving the card out. But alright, this is not Zoltar. This is the Puppeteer and Gentleman Jim. Gentleman Jim almost looking like a very weird Charlie McCarthy-like figure. I'll put a picture of what Charlie McCarthy looks like if you're not aware of who he is. What you want to do is you want to either hit Gentleman Jim to kill him, but if you're going for secret bonus points, kill the Puppeteer first. Hit him diagonally. Because there are two ways this battle can go if you don't, depending on who you kill first. You have to kill both of them, but if you kill the Puppeteer second, or if you kill Gentleman Jim first, what'll happen is the Puppeteer will start throwing his, I guess, the hook out towards you, and it can grab you and your head around, and you'll be in trouble. And maybe I can put an edit in when I edit this in a couple days showing what that looks like. But, yeah, I'm gonna do it the other way, just for that. Yeah, because you also throw the cane, just be careful. Ooh. Oh, shit. Yeah, he still hurts. Even the Japanese version, it's gonna be not as easy to hit him. Alright. Got him. Okay, good. Okay, now what he'll do is he'll shuffle all around, and hopefully he will... Uh-oh. Ah, shit. Alright, that's what happens when you die, by the way. And you have to start the boss again when you die. But yeah, I was afraid that was gonna happen. Actually, wait a minute. I want to see something. If you die, do you have to get the secret bonus point again? I think you do. Fine, we'll do it the same way. As I said, I'll put the edit for what it looks like doing the other way. Actually, I probably already put it in when you see the upload version of this in a couple days. Yeah, same deal before, just hit diagonally. And just don't let Gentleman Jim hit you. The other thing you can do, you can hit Gentleman Jim as you go along, so you don't have to hit him as much when it comes time to take him down. And also, he's able to be hit basically at any time here, unlike when he was doing that walk around. Because basically, in that case, he was only vulnerable to being hit when he opened up and started shooting those orbs that, unfortunately, I was too close to and I couldn't get away from. But that's a case of it being my fault, so it's like, oh yeah, the game was unfair. This game is hard, for the US at least. And I find it's more demanding for Japan than it is hard. Okay, no, so I do have to kill him. So if I die, the super bonus point does not take effect. Also, yeah, you can just barely jump over Gentleman Jim. But yeah, when he's open like that, boom, hit him. I was waiting. Yeah, they're gonna give me an arrow, right? Alright, because this is our way to our boss. This is Starlight Storm, or Clothes Encounter, based off of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which, unpopular opinion time, I think that movie is massively overrated and has not aged very well. But apparently, Jacqueline Dressy, or Wooden Dresser is the name of this boss, is maybe he's taking offense to that. Oh, you're a live one, aren't you? Just you're being such a show-off, your story will end here. I'll let you watch my magnificent show beneath the starry sky. Alright. So here's the deal with Jacqueline Dressy, or Wooden Dresser. Yeah, she's the mannequin. She'll do this, and then after she does that dance, her heart is purple, she's invincible. You gotta do is take her clothes off. Don't worry, she's not anatomically correct. For the purpose of this, just hit each of the areas that Bo tells you to target. There's the dragon thing, and then when you do that, its heart's exposed, so hit her that way. And when she jumps off, by the way, that stops, so she's invincible. So you have to pretty much balance it around and be careful in regards to what her powers are. And also, some of the costume, because the ballerina one, you have to hit the head first. Like, how the hell am I hitting that? Well, because if you walk around like this, yeah, she'll go down and do the pirouette, or the plie, I should say. Let's get my ballet terminology going right. There we go. Okay, so that's that phase. You could kill her pretty quickly if you keep hitting her. I'm trying to see something. Well, she has the robot outfit. Also, yeah, she'll do that. She'll drop debris, which can hurt. Ow. Then the warhead can help specifically on this as she does that. Oh, shit. Okay, what I'm trying to do, and if I can't do it on screen, I'll show this off screen. I'll put an edit in for this. There's one other costume she gets, which is the head of Bino. And the dialogue is the same, so we're skipping it. Yeah, but I was just saying that, yeah, she get a Bino hat. I believe it takes effect when, or that'll pull out when her health is basically next to nothing. I've also been in cases where I've seen you can have to fight this boss for 10 minutes, surviving this, in order to see it. So I think for the purpose of that, what I'm going to do is I'll get her as low to health as I can, and I'll see if it pops up after like 1 or 2. If not, I'll put an edit in. Because yeah, they do expect you to feasibly sit here for 10 minutes or understand how this... and that's also goes to one thing I'll say about the secret bonus points. Not that I mind the idea of what these are, but these are things you would never in a million years understand how to get any of these without looking at a guide. And the next world is going to be a case of that for sure. And there are tons of secret bonus points in the next world. Alright. Okay, fine. She's like next to nothing. And so to do the ballet outfit, she'll usually go dragon, ballet, and the robot. So, but what I'm gonna do is, yeah, waiting for that. Oh shit! I forgot you could do that. Yeah, I was trying to do the, you know, be safe thing, or not the be safe thing, the, get health. Ow! Actually, I rarely hit that thing with the, the robot. You know what? Fuck it, I'm just gonna kill her. I'll have the edit of what the Bino outfit looks like. You have to survive this for 10 minutes or do it when she's at low health. And even then it can take a while. And then she'll have a Bino hat on her head, and if you knock it off, it's a secret bonus point. Yeah, we're not getting it, sorry. Hey everybody, Captain T-Track, just want to show off what I mentioned in the stream that I actually just finished a few minutes ago as I'm recording this. Yeah, the Bino head for Wooden Dresser. I'm using the English version for this, and yeah, you did use the rewind, because yeah, it's a pain in the ass to do otherwise. I have Wooden Dresser down to 1 HP, and if you keep playing around, eventually have Bino head. Hit Bino head off. That's your secret bonus point, now she's dead. Let's see if for one last good show of this, I can at least get another continue. We'll get the continue off.
You've got another try.
Yeah, beautiful. Alright, enjoy the rest of the video, everybody. I gave it a try, I said fine, we'll give it a look. But no, we're not doing that. Yeah, let's get the warhead, which is the hero here. Because yeah, basically at that point just walk towards where the target is and just hit her that way. Boom. Fine, that's one hero. Actually, in the ballet section, the hero there is going to be the Tickerhead. Or the Superhead, because you can do the Superhead as well, because you'll have a better reach. Yeah, in that case, yeah, Tickerhead, so yeah, hit her in the chest, the head, that. Yeah, basically, at this point, just keep hitting. Hi. Fine, she's dead. Enough's enough. Yeah, and you can tell she's feeling it because of the whoo yell. Come on.
You've got another try.
Okay, yeah. See, I'm running the US mentality of thinking that, oh yeah, I need to get this, otherwise I'm gonna be in trouble. Especially because of the deaths I took. Yeah, but there you go. That is the end of World 3. And you can also make the speed up by hitting the start button. Also, in the US version, you get a cheer here. For some reason, the Japanese version does not have it. Also, yeah, that flash there on Heady's chest. Yeah, you have the spotlight as your health indicator, but you also have actually his chest. That changed color along with it, which is a nice touch. While we have Heather giving us another kiss for the key. I mean, I guess it seems like a fair trade right now, but yeah, we'll find an answer, and unlike the US version, there is actually a real answer to this. As we are going to Southtown, or terminate her 2, as the US's continuity is, pick up on Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Yeah, okay, secret bonus point, right here. Keep hitting this thing. You're like, how the hell am I gonna know that? Because I'm telling you, or you read it. Yeah, just wait till she says that, and you'll be fine. Also, actually, you know what? I want to see something. Okay, so I can't go through that in time for that. Alright. We're hearing this wonderful music for Southtown. I love the music here so much. It's so good. See, that's why I spend so much time talking about the people who did the music. The music of this game is beautiful. And even the Game Gear renditions of them are not that bad, actually. You'd think, like, hey, what did they do to put them on the Game Gear? Not all the pieces of music are in the soundtrack for that version, but yeah, they did a pretty good job with that one, including this one. Alright, there's the guy in the background working. I do want to grab... Actually, you know what? I can destroy this mini-boss with the bomb. I'm not going to do that. Because actually, there's a little bit of a difference with this boss. Again, the Game Gear version has it intact. It's this creepy doll. It's a robot prince in the US version. I don't know why they changed this. I don't think that was the case of like, hey, is there going to be some kind of a concern to this as far as a social thing? Actually, there's one thing I did not show the trip head. Which basically is you're kind of in a heavy head that looks like you're in blackface or like a minstrel show or something like that. Which actually, the US version does have that still. So not really much. Yeah, hit in the head and it's dead. Usually, that's what you do. Use your head. That's what the game's tagline for the US said. Like, use your head, literally. Just keep shooting stuff at it to keep going. And to get those items that are in the girders, just use the vacuum head. But in order to get it anywhere in this, you can't use that, because that's the thing about the vacuum head. You can suck up stuff, but you can't actually shoot anything. So pretty much just shoot there and then hit that. And also do what I was doing in the test, which is wait till that resets, or pull it that way, or shoot it up. Okay. Because it's like the levers of the platforms to pull towards. Whoa. Oh. Okay, I never had that happen before, but alright. And basically he'll go to wherever you pull down to, and he'll go back to where it's originally placed a little after that. Alright. Yeah, fine. It's worth getting the health here, although, as I said, in the English version, I couldn't be playing this recklessly with the English version, because you take much more damage. I think you take double damage, generally speaking. As well as seeing these creatures here, shoot them onto the pole there, boom, they turn blue. They're dead, I guess, and at that point, you're able to get over there. I definitely want to go there for the life. I mean, if nothing else, to get this is also giving an idea of, like, why is it this is a game I guess I attracted to when I was growing up. I guess the weird style of it, as I mentioned that I rented because of a cheat code for its stage select, and realized, okay, that's why, because it's hard. But also because it's a platform, you know, I was born and raised on those. Stuff like Sonic the Hedgehog and things like that. Oh, and what I want to do with the tank here is two things. Destroy the cannonball, you get a secret bonus point. What you're supposed to do is shoot it up at a diagonal and time it so it drops down on the soldier's head. But sometimes it takes some time to have that happen. And in this version, it doesn't always shoot out in a straight thing in that super machine. Alright. Yeah, basically, as long as you shoot a diagonal, eventually you'll be able to get it going. Boom, and get it. Whoa! Also, there's no item up there. I think there's a 500 item up here. I think it's like the 2 of them for the English version. I guess it took them out. Alright, fine, let's take this off. Get the drain pipe, and there's the beautiful water effect. But the statue, yeah, it needs to die. I don't know what it is. Looks like, I don't know, like a monkey or something. But either way, it's gotta die. Yeah, that's why. Look, I think if any of the words I'm gonna show that where the secret bonus points are, it's this one. Because you're like, how are you gonna find these? And that was my case. I think I went through this. It's like, there's 7 secret bonus points. It's like, where were they? I didn't find a 1. But, yeah, fine. If nothing else, it's just more to show the fact that they're there. It's like, whoa, I'm kind of on the edge of my seat, or edge of the platform. In this case, you kind of have to shoot it back and forth. Use the hammerhead here because you're able to hit it with more strength. And there's the hit me sign, which I'm going to hit him there. Here versus the conveyor belts. It also makes it a lot easier to hit the toy soldiers in the cars. Whoa! Or sometimes you just screw it and it'll just jump up there and you'll be fine. Whoa. The only reason I'm going here is because I can take a higher road to get some points. And health. Oh. By the way, you can only hit the cars when they're when you're behind them. Or you only hit them from the back, let's put it that way. So in order to get through that legitimately, you have to do that, or do what I usually do growing up, which is jump in the pit and just go through. As we're at the working year. Our Mad Mex, as it's called for the US version, take off on Mad Max. But another bonus game, let's get going for a basketball. As mentioned, they're up in the ante each time. I will say it makes more sense in the US version they don't have it saying fight. Like, what are we fighting? The machine? Okay, I guess we are fighting the machine. Never mind. So, fine. We're fighting that, we're fighting the keys. Okay, there we go. There's the slowdown. Okay, so I get to show that. Which would be good if I could get more than bombs, because you can't shoot the bombs in the basket. Oh! Yeah, that's what that does. It just slowed down. So I'm at least so glad I got to show it slowing down. No! Okay, yeah. Oh, we didn't go through. I was like, wait, hold on. Yeah, I don't want to get into a case where we'll lose the bomb again, or get the key in there again, because that's happened to every one. I want at least one which doesn't go in there, please. Is that also goes to, look, I guess the idea of, oh, it's like, no, it's like, it's one of those cases where, you know, at the end of a game, you're like, of a basketball game, it's like, it's right on the rim, you're like, wait a second, you want it to go in, or fine, if you're the other team, you don't want it to go in. At this point, it's like, no, I don't want it to go in. As I said, the reason I guess that's happening is that, look, I play this the way I play, like, Sonic the Hedgehog. It's like, hey, I was grown with that game, too. Basically, play this fast and loose and when I can get away with it. Unless it's a game that, yeah, I can't get away with it, and, oh. So that's probably why I'm doing that with Dynamite Headdy, because, yeah, there is a Sonic quality to this, even though it plays a lot differently. Fine, it plays a ton differently. Because it's definitely slower paced to some degree, but also has, in a lot of ways, like with Sonic, now that I'm thinking about this, it does have this mechanical depth to itself that, with only a couple of buttons, you're able to do a lot with the game. It's like, look, you're only using jump, you're only using the jump button, the attack button, and D-pad, and the cancel thing when you get heads out of the way, or want to get a head out of your way. But, yeah, it's almost like Rice Star. As I said, I played this before I played Rice Star, which I guess makes sense, because that came out after. But, But like that one, there's a lot of depth and a lot of ways you can play this game to kind of make it really look fancy and keep coming back for more, even when you've beaten it to completion multiple times, like I have with this one and with Sonic and with Rice Star a little bit. Oh shit! Okay, I'm almost there. I should be fine as long as I'm not completely nuts. I think that's the other interesting thing, I guess, to go stuff with Treasure stuff, is that they understood clearly what they were doing when it came to the stuff they're doing, going back to the stuff with Konami, but also just the fact of understanding what's the mechanical depth of a game, how to take an original concept, original gameplay idea, and then maybe a take on the genre, just totally twist it around, and come up with something so unique and so memorable. Even though it's like, yeah, this is not a game that necessarily everybody's playing, I don't think. And they got 15 and 16, okay, so overachieving for sure. They kept coming up with stuff for that, and also the tech, as I've mentioned before, I'll mention again. Remember, they used the Motorola 68000 microprocessor in the Sega Genesis to get some of the tech going on this. And man, they knew how to do that and make this console sing. As we get a 1. So it's 0, 3, 1. Or hit C. Alright, I've got one more of those things to do. Okay, so now we're in the mech area. In this case, we gotta hit this off the way. You can go the bottom path if you want to. I'm going the high road because there is something there. Also, let me get a refill on that. When you hit head case, by the way, when you have a head that's the same one, it resets the timer. Because you're on a timer, basically, with most heads in this game. So you're gonna have, it'll go away eventually. Also, one thing I try to do is, whoa. Okay, I kill the geisha there. But also try and go for the secret bonus points here, which are actually, okay, not Spikehead, I need Hammerhead. Gotta destroy all the hammer blocks in this area. There are 5 of them, I believe. In fact, I'll go this way. In fact, we'll go underneath the spike. Ooh! Okay, fine. I'm gonna get myself hurt doing this. But fine, screw it. Oh no. Yeah, I need health, but thankfully I know where there is some. Okay, there's health and there's a... Oh wait, no, there's just a life. Okay, never mind. Alright, so fine. When I die, I'll be able to be okay on this. Also, yeah, be careful of the traffic cones on the conveyor belt here. Okay. Well, there's the other thing. When that goes up, you can make a big jump by jumping at the very end. Okay, got it. Hang on a second. Yeah, if you destroy all 5 of those here, you get a secret bonus point. And, is there another one missing here? No, there's not. Okay, yeah, I'm running out of health. But we're at the Restless Factory, or Mad Max 2 is what's called for US. Okay. So yeah, we have these gears here. Oh, thank God we have a sleeping area. So yeah, just take a nap. I was going to sleep the whole way so I can get my health increased. Also, I had a bug happen here. Actually, I was doing testing with this version, which is right here. If you go diagonal like this, I'll actually. Okay, I guess I didn't show it because the way the screen scrolls. This is something they fixed for the US version. I do remember this. Or I guess I realized this when I tried to replicate this. Okay, no, never mind. That was it. So yeah, I got myself caught in the platform. Okay. It's based on the way the scrolling is, and I think the collision detection, so they did do a little bit of an update to the US version to avoid this. Yeah, I'm stuck, but don't worry, I can get up. Just jump. Also, I have another video of it happening, which I'll put about here. Alright, yeah, even then, yeah, look at that, I'm off screen. I think that, I'm pretty sure, because I played around with the US version for this after I found this happening. I said, is there something different with how this is handling the screen scrolling? And the answer is yes, there is. That's what's going on. Yeah, because I tried doing this in the US version and nothing happened. Also, can I get that? Okay, no, I guess I can't get it yet. I can't get back to that one. I can get that one, because Hammerhead is everywhere. Because like before, I need to hit the Hammerhead blocks out. Actually, no, I don't have to here. What? Do I? Okay, what I gotta do is, fine, I'll show this. The fan. When it spins, you jump on that, you spin all around. It doesn't hurt you, but yeah, it's gonna be a crazy tripper. Whoa, my head's spinning! Alright, so, in order to avoid our head spinning, hit that. Yeah, just hit this damn thing. It's gonna take a while, even with Hammerhead. Oh shit. I need me to cancel that. Also, actually, one other detail. When you hit the head, you see you, like, kind of grunting, like, ugh, I'm hitting this thing. Which is a great attention to detail. Just keep hitting this thing. Yeah, it's a secret bonus point, and also, it makes it so this will not spin randomly anymore. So if you also want to avoid that happening, just keep hitting the damn thing, pretty much. Alright, come on. Yeah, I just want to get this going. And actually, I do like the look of this, the factory here. Just looking at it. Almost looks like the end of Castle of Illusion a little bit. As far as the factory we're in, or the tower. Or the clock tower, I should say. Oh, yeah, you can jump downwards by hitting down on the C button. Oh, crap. What was that? Oh, that dude. Ow! Okay, if that's the... Okay, fine. That's the other way to go down that way. I don't even know if that was that way in the US version. I don't think it was. Okay, fine, whatever. Yeah, I'm just going through my nice warheads, taking them out. Here we are in the mystery spot, or, fine, a little bit of a... They're kind of, giving something away here. Heather napped. But here's Bino. He's supposed to be, you know, stage crew. He's just like, fine, you know what? I gotta clean the windows. This is nice. Yeah, but I gotta keep making his life miserable. Pretty much. Just keep hitting him. I say he's like Sisyphus in Greek mythology. Like, yeah, he keeps having to push that boulder up the hill when he gets to the top. Like, that's Bino's existence specifically. Right, here we go. Yeah, there is a text box for this in the US version saying that there's no keymaster here, and Heather beat me to it, but she's gone now, too. Here it says, it's Headdy, I'd like to talk to you for a second. It's strange, the local keymaster was just here a moment ago, but he's now gone. Maybe he's about to go somewhere? I'll get the impression it's to his advantage to do so. Yeah, you're right. There we go. And there are the 7 secret bonus points of World 4. Damn. And again, without a guide, you would never know where the hell those were. But, yeah, there you go. Nothing else is worth showing. I said, I'm not going to promise every single secret bonus point. In fact, I already missed one. But I'll show as many as I can get. And there is no bonus, by the way, if you get all of them throughout the game. But yeah, in that case, we do not have a boss here. So, yeah, thankfully we can take a bit of a breather. Well, sort of.
Yes.
As we reach the Puppet Tower, or Go Headdy Go. Yeah, that's what this area is called. It's not much of a level, because as soon as I jump on that tower over there where you start the next one. But we got one more bonus stage to go. Oh boy, and this is going to be the hardest. We had to make 20 baskets. Alright, let's get going. And I swear to God, most of the balls here, it seems like there's bombs coming out every other one. Maybe I'll be lucky, but I don't know, maybe that's intended. I think it's that way in the English version, too. And hey, as I said, when I played this a couple years ago, I did this same thing for the English version. So it's not a case of, oh, I'm doing this because it's easier. I'm doing it more because there's more of a story context I can at least have. Yeah, you'll run into cases much more where the bomb's are going to come out. It's like, yeah, I can't make a shot. So we might be here a while. So, Chad, if you have anything else on your mind, yeah, feel free to hit me with it, because, yeah, I'm just going to be making baskets here. And avoid getting the key in. Yeah, there's 2. Yeah, this is gonna take a while. Hey, at least you do get to hear the great music, so there is that. I mean, it goes to one other thing, and I guess I'll go to this. The idea of when you're playing a game, or like either whether you like a game or not, or you're part of the game which is annoying, how much can good music really help it? I mean, it depends on it. I mean, I remember, maybe I'm thinking of this because we're doing Mega Man Legends 2 in about a month. Nocturne saying about Balloon Fantasy and Mega Man Legends 1 about the idea of, yeah, the Waltz of the Flowers from, actually from Tchaikovsky, again, so fitting to mention it with this game. But it's just like, yeah, when I hear that, like, it just makes me feel enraged because, like, I had to deal with the Balloon Fantasy specific. So I was like, okay, fine. In that case, it's not going to calm her down. And she usually likes classical music as far as that. But even in that case, like, no, it just gives me back the memories of, you know, having to deal with the balloons. And I guess maybe the frustration of seeing me doing my first try. Like, I'm sorry I did it the first try. Yeah, that was also the case, I remember, with the Final Fantasy VII Remake, specifically, which at some point I'll be able to play as far as PC. She is on PS5, as it is, and, oh! Yeah, because she couldn't get the achievement or the trophy for the Seventh Heaven Darks game, and I gotta, like, I don't know, like, my third try. She's like, how did you get this so quick? To which I said, you gotta understand my fandom of Shenmue. It's like, everything I know about darts comes from Shenmue. So at that point, knowing everything, is like, okay, I know exactly how to play this, and it came really quick. And then eventually she's like, I don't think I'm ever gonna get this one. I'm like, yeah, you will. And eventually she did, and she usually doesn't care about achievements or trophies, but that was when I was like, no, I want this thing, goddammit. So let's make it happen. Which, if nothing else, goes to the idea of, you know, I guess, determination. Same with this game, because I'll tell you something. Going with that English version, I mentioned it's harder. I was almost broken down in tears when I finished this game for the first time 100% for the US version, because it was so hard initially. It was actually, at the time, one of the harder games I had completed. Well, admittedly, this was a while ago. I mean, in that case, I'd be very curious to see how our Play of Contra Hardcore is going to go, what happens when I beat that one, feasibly. I guess we beat it, somehow. But that being said, it's something that I really get that sense of accomplishment going eventually. And I guess same with, Nocturne as far as was mentioned with Final Fantasy VII's remake and Mega Man Legends. I find that part of Mega Man Legends and Final Fantasy VII remake as it is. Because maybe I have that a little on the brain, the Final Fantasy VII thing, because, as I mentioned earlier on the show, I bought Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line today, which, Crusader 64 got me into big time. Like, I wanted to play this on 3DS. I bought it. The Switch, the new one, I think the PS4 as well, that has it. Yeah, I'm hooked. I think it's fantastic. Even to the point where it's like, yeah, even some of the really hard stuff, it's like, I still want to kind of try and make that happen. Oh, shit. Especially when I unlock the stuff from Final Fantasy IV, the music there, I was like, yeah, I want to get the battle theme going, and they ask you to hit every single one of those beats to that. Even the opening, which is I kind of want to do that to the point where even the hardest difficulty of it is easier than the second hardest difficulty, because at that point it's like, well, the beats are kind of in line. I think we might be able to easily show that game off easier than maybe other music games, but yeah. I think that's going to be a not without the Crusader 64 case, because I know he loves that game so much. No! And that boy also showed the co-op mode, which is amazing in that game. Which he exposed me to that part of it specifically, and yeah, we had a great time with that. Alright, we're almost there. We have 4 more. Yeah, with only one machine, if you get cases where the bombs keep coming out, yeah, you're gonna have to wait a while. Come on. Alright, so we need to get more. Alright, that's slowdown, which is good for now. 17. Almost. Good news is if I fail this, it's not gonna be horrible, because I have, 3 more chances, I think. No, no, 2. So yeah, they don't give you a whole lot of chances to get this again if you screw it up. Which is why I'm making sure not to screw it up. Alright, fine, there's 1. So 2 more. 1. $19, 1 more. No! Thank God, got it. Yeah, I don't care if they got bombed. That was close. Whew. Alright, got it. So there we go, we're done. And we'll not see the bonus indication on anything else. So, our secret password is 0315. So beware the Ides of March, I guess fitting, because that's going to be a couple days. Hell, it's probably when the upload of this is going to be going up on the YouTube site. Right, with all 4 of those done, we'll be ready for something at the end of the game. We have to just wait to the end of the credits in order to see this. This is going to be a while. Also, there's no reason to take head case here, because we start boss right now. And it's actually the end of the level. Wahaha, drat. Of all the places to come across each other. This tower's way too tall, so even I find it to be a little scary. But I'm brave enough to fight even in a place like this. Are you now? Yeah, this is also proof printed out, like, flipping the page. Alright, let's, go up. And show off the rotational effects of the Genesis being, made, to work nicely. Go up. Or Stair Wars, is called for the US, based on Star Wars. Okay, yeah. Secret bonus point here is you keep climbing until you get it. I don't know if I'm gonna show that. As you keep going along, you'll see Mariama, or Troubled Bruin, over there. He'll do that head thing, he'll shoot that out there, and take that part of the tower down. Boom, jump. Yeah, make sure you're not at that case and hit the hit. Or just get yourself hurt. Also, yeah, if you fall down too fast, you might have to get up there quickly to avoid those parts being taken off. Now, when I was growing up, I was like, how the hell do I beat this? Because it takes forever. You have to wait till he does his eyes, you know, with the dashes like that. You hit him once. I think it might be potentially random when he does that. That is, assuming you're kind of close to him. So if you're out of view of him like this, he might just keep doing that, side-by-side thing. It's worth pointing out, and then do the, pull off the tower. And you'll keep climbing forever, so, yeah, it'll never run out. But the thing is, he'll also move faster as it goes along, and in the US version, he takes way more hits than the few I'm hitting with. I do love the way this looks. Like, yeah, look at the rotation effect. Remember, the Genesis didn't have this built in, so The Motorola 68,000 processor that Treasure loved using. Yeah, they put it to use for this, for sure. Also, you have a bit of a trick, which is when the tower goes up that way. Whoa. Actually, yeah, right when it's gonna go off like there, jump right before the tower collapses down, and you'll get a massive height. Oh shit, went the wrong way. Okay, got him. Yeah, he takes way more hits in the US version. I think it's double that. In this case, yeah, we can climb our way down if we want to and get hurt. But like, no, we'll do it the other way. Boom, 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 boom. As Rolling, or the Towering Infernal, take off in the Towering Inferno. Now, for the secret bonus point to start here, you have to go through this next section of the level without taking a hit until a certain point. You have to do it quick, apparently, from what I understand. Yeah, here's a mini-boss. Gotta defeat this mini-boss without getting hit, because I haven't gotten hit once before. After we do that and get up to the next level, you will get a secret bonus point. So yeah, even before Mischief Makers, they're doing no-hit cases in their games, as far as Treasure is concerned. Remember, just take advantage of the fact of how the rotation is and be ready for that. Oh shit, alright, I already got hit, so yeah, we're not getting the secret bonus point. Okay, fine, I got myself hurt badly enough. You know what, fine, I'll keep myself surviving. I'll try to keep myself alive. Alright. Yeah, if you get through that quickly and don't take a hit, you will get a secret bonus point. But since I did get hit, alright, fine, I'm dying from the spike balls that come out of the walls. But as I said, when you die, you do have another opportunity to try and get the secret bonus point again without taking a hit. Oh shit, I already took the hit. Fine, I won't necessarily try to get it that way, but either way, let's just go on. But hey, I'm telling you how to get it, so there's at least that. As I mentioned, yeah, you never find some of this stuff out without a guide. Eventually, I think I just got to the point with this game, I said, I'm just curious, like, how do I get some of these things? And I looked up and said, okay. It's like, how was I supposed to know that? Ow. Yeah, avoiding the, yeah, those orbs, they come out of 3D perspective. You have to kind of go all around a little bit, but sometimes it's not easy to do that. But this is why it's called rolling, because we have this guy here. He'll jump him in the air. If you can get the ticker head going, you can just take 3 pot shots at him. Also gets far enough to the other end. I'll see if we can show him doing this. Well, fine. If he gets back to the center, he'll do that again. And go in the background. I do love that effect. It shows a nice element of 3D. In fact, I will let him do this. Okay, you know what? I guess he isn't doing it. He can sometimes go up on the sides there and shoot out part of his armor that way. But I think for this, it's probably just worth us killing him. Oh, right, there we go. We're gonna see it right now. You can hit him from there if you hit him right. But I got him, perfect. And then the head case is like, yeah, screw this, I'm not staying around. Alright, next is our boss here. And there's some health. I definitely want to get. Alright, let's get ready because our next level is On the Sky or Spinderella. It has one of the best pieces of music in this game, that's saying a lot. I love this track to death. Have a listen. Yeah. You hear this for 2 bosses, including the next one. And it is insanely epic. Oh my god, something's happening. Alright, this is Motor Hand. That's the name of the boss for Japan, or Spinderella for the US. Well, you must be the famous Headdy that I've been hearing about. It seems you're collecting the wind-up keys, but surely you don't know how to use them, do you? He's not wrong. And see, this explanation is kind of helping things with me understanding, like, what was the point of the keys? The US version doesn't explain really any of this. It's pointless, though, unless you can remove my keys well. Alright, let's see what his key is like. Whoa! Yeah, another case where Treasure's loving their rotational effect. And their secret bonus point here, by the way, is you can find Bino. Basically, he'll do his hands down like that, and he hits down, basically alternate left and right, so he'll hit him into the ground, then go around him and hit him in the back into the motor. just see that, yeah, basically kind of on a big circle. Yeah, when he hits the one, just go left, right, boom, boom. That's what you want to do. So also be careful of the spike things. And there's Bino. Make sure you hit him quick. Got him. Because after 2 phases of that, he'll put his hands down, the situation, spin you around. Now we're in the background. You have to do the same thing, but you have to do it while seeming to move slower and also being in a case where, yeah, you have to kind of watch the perspective a little differently, including the fact that when you're turning, you're kind of at a blind spot in order to hit the motor here. Basically, look where he's hitting, like, straight ahead. Look where the eyes are. That's pretty much your best guide. Ow. It's actually surprisingly hard. Because, yeah, points for being, you know, innovative and technically impressive with this, but as far as the gameplay case of it, it's not always going to be an easy thing to get going. Fine, I'll kill him over here. If you do kill him from over there, he'll basically take you over to the front. But yeah, in that case, boom, spin me around. I do love how this looks. Oh my god, this is beautiful. As I mentioned, at a time when Sega was basically pretty much at just about to lose the console war against Nintendo, this is a case of them at least having one last-ditch effort saying, like, yeah, look what the Genesis can do. Yeah, it's pretty damn impressive. Well, we got him. He doesn't keep hitting his motor after he's dead, so it's like, yeah, in that case, you know, get him going. Uh-oh. Went the other way. Okay, I didn't get enough. Yeah, if you don't get enough, you just don't get to continue. Yeah, for the Japanese version, no issue. Yeah, okay, and the only secret points I missed were the ones for climb the tower and then the no-hit on the Towering Infernal. Alright, but yeah, Motor Hand or Spinderella, I guess Motor Hand is a reference to Motorhead, perhaps? But anyway, he said, yeah, those keys are gonna be useless if you A, can't remove mine, and B, don't know what they do. Maybe Heather or Thingy knows what they do. And yeah, she's taking another one. Alright, we'll figure that soon. Actually, after the next world, we'll figure that out. But now we're at an Airwalker, or playing the flying game. Take off on the movie The Crying Game. I hope you like Gradius 3 or any horizontal flight shooter. That's what this level is. And you have 3 heads you can use. You can use the airhead, the, actually, I'm waiting for one specific head that's not there. I also flip into the page in the manual so I can tell what these are named. I'm looking for something that's not those pictures you've seen. So you're right there. That Bino picture. Hit that. That is a secret bonus point. It sometimes takes some time for that to pop up. Yeah, you have the rocket head, which is the airship. You want that. That's the best one. The airhead, which is the airplane. And the featherhead, which is the thing with the birds. I'm showing this off first because it fucking sucks, but I'll show why. It shoots out birds, which looks okay, but you have to be very close in distance to hit anything with it. And they don't do a whole lot of damage. Also, you can shoot the rockets before they go to the moon. You have to shoot the 5th one that's coming up right here, the one with the doggy in it. Yeah, that's a secret bonus point. And also make sure to avoid the stuff there with the surrounding orbs, which they changed the level design of this significantly for the US version, and for the better, actually, because you see that twice in the US version for those surrounding things. No, so let's get something else. Let's get the airhead. You can move left and right, or aim left and right with this thing, with a triple shot. I'll tell you one thing they definitely did better for the US version. The crank, or the drop of the crane here, it is really slow in the Japanese version. The US version, they sped this up quick. And the approach to the final boss in this area definitely speeds that up too, and thank God. Like, yeah, talk about a massive pace breaker. That's one case where the US version is better. I'll definitely say that. Yeah, we're sitting here for like about 10 or so seconds without anything happening. But yeah, we do have the battleship number 6. What you do here is shoot the target there. It kind of doesn't matter how you do this exactly. But you basically just have to shoot the center of it there, and what you can also do is shoot off the cannons there. You don't just shoot into the mouth. You may not want to do that. I'll show it happening, but Also, this is not the most powerful thing. That's the laser. Yeah, the other one I didn't get. I'll show that later, because that's what you want to use here. If you want to make this a cakewalk feasibly, or make it easier, use that. Yeah, because you want to try to destroy the cannons, at least. Because there's a couple of those, and they can shoot up. Oh, shit, I got the bird. I didn't want that. Also, yeah, the cloud cover there is like, yeah, you can barely see anything. Alright. Also, the birds go at an arc like that, so yeah, good luck hitting the other cannon. We have that flying thing, and the reason, like, wait a second, why just shoot in the mouth? Well, let me show you. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna be able to kill the mouth part of this easily with this thing. Okay. Alright, never mind. Yeah, because what you could do is you could shoot in the mouth will malfunction if you hit it enough, and then what'll happen is that it'll shoot out, it'll shoot out a helicopter that drops a bomb that spreads across the screen, so yeah, you want to avoid that. Yeah, this is what we're gonna use the rest of the way, because I love this thing. The rocket head. Not only does that laser hurt badly, as with the reckless wheel or fly hard, take off on die hard, but it also penetrates through objects, so that's why you want to use it. Wahaha! You really think it'd be safe for me in the sky? Even though I fell from such a high place, it didn't faze me one bit. Well, okay, maybe I did cry a little bit. You were doing a lot more than crying went through with you, because you're definitely a weakling. Come on, I'm gonna give you a good thrashing and hurl you from this flying fortress. Alright, fine. Here's how he works. He's kind of annoying here. He goes foreground and background too, like Spinderella. Well, that was you doing that. He's doing it this time. He'll come to foreground. That's the only time you can hit him. Give an eye on where the banana is. He's hitting him, and then when he shoots out those things, destroy those as quickly as possible. Just destroy the top one, or the bottom one, if you can make it happen. And when he does that bob of the head, make sure you avoid the orb, because you can't do anything to it. Okay, there's the spike balls. Those are not hard to hit. Okay, basically just keep holding B button here, but just avoid getting hit stuff. And yeah, if you have to go out of the way to be safe or to have an opening, go ahead. I mean, if you do have the airhead, you can shoot from the other direction, so that is a benefit, but in my case, from my experience personally, it's not worth the reduction in damage. It's more reliable, but takes longer. So I guess in some ways that goes to one thing with this game, what I love about it, especially this part of the game, is that you do have options about how you want to play it, so you can kind of make it harder on yourself or easier. And I believe, again, like in the US version, you get more damage going, or it takes more damage. And there's Nocturne. She's playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3. She's been hooked on that pretty extensively recently, I've noticed. And hey, I get that, because there's that DLC that's come out of it semi-recently, and then the next wave that's on the way. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm in trouble. Yeah, that's why you want to get rid of the, those things really quick. Alright, this is gonna be close. Oh. Keep hitting him. I hope that's enough. Okay, yeah, it is enough. Alright, so here's what happens. He's gonna shoot these out. When you hit him enough, that way he'll do this. He'll shoot those out, just keep ready, and he won't come back into the screen there. Uh-oh. Yeah, but if I get hit by one of those, I'm gonna die. I'm really right on the edge of my seat here. Actually, we are hearing the extended version of the Mariamba boss battle music, which you don't hear often. You only hear it here, actually, if you take a while. Alright, and by doing that, we're done. We got him. Because he has a stop sign that's stopping him. Alright, there we go. That was and next is light velocity. Fly hard too. I'm gonna die here, because I don't have enough health. And when you go between levels, you do not have a recovery of your health going on. There is a banana here, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. And also, yeah, you have to kind of go through a tight corridor, and you can hit the sides of the area and be okay, unless they're electrified or there's obstacles there. So it's forgiving in one way, but not in another. Also, yeah, be careful of those spike, or not spike orbs, the electric orbs. Oh, shit! Yeah, you have to pretty much eye the needle it. Damn. Yeah, in this case we should be fine. You'll go down the other way. If nothing else, I could also get to show the other paths. Not that it really makes much of a difference, because there's not many items that are on the other paths. Not until later where you're gonna run into them. But you do get the switches of heads if you want to. You just touch them and you pick them up. Yeah, you usually want to just run the laser head the entire time. Especially for the boss, although, yeah, you can do it the other way, but yeah, fine. Look, I showed the next boss. You know what it is if you saw the World of Illusion play we did, but still, you also didn't see the insanely slow lead up to it in this version. But that being said, I'll show you again why it's worth using this thing for that, or basically anything here. This is the best one, for sure. And actually, growing up, I thought, well, you know, I thought the airhead was better, the one with the plane, because you could shoot left and right. I thought, oh, that's better. And then I realized, oh, this does more damage. Oh, it's fine that if I'm going left and right, I'm only facing to the right. I can kind of accept that for the extra damage. Ow. There is health at the end right there. Yes, you have to go through the entire thing to get health. Which is fitting, I guess, because we got the boss here. But, like, as I mentioned before in 6-1, this part goes really slow. It's really fast with the US version. They give you enough time to get the power you want. But I was like, yeah, it's kind of breaking the pace. Yeah, I just don't want that featherhead. I showed it off just to show what it was. Not touching it outside of that. I just love the detail there of Headdy basically holding the missile in his hands as far as... Alright, here we go. Boss, and we get last play of this wonderful music. Or this wonderful music, I should say. So this is Mitsuru, or Babyface, as the level is called. And it's also named that way for the US. Babu, who's making a ruckus in my spy fortress, or my sky fortress. Oh? Big brother, could you be the puppet who escaped? I know, if you'll play with me, I'll pretend that I didn't see you. Alright, deal. So yeah, Babyface does have dialogue, so yeah, just, yeah, remember this. Yeah, what the fuck is this? Well, he's a baby. To start, he'll shoot the, fireball, I guess, mucus out of his mouth. Just keep hitting him. As long as you stay on the edge and avoid them, they do move slowly, so you gotta be careful. If you can't get a case of hitting him, just go down that way. And after enough damage, boom, he explodes. And he's growing up. Into a teenager, or I guess a young adolescent. Yeah, he has, I guess, a love of science, so yeah, he has a point to make with his finger and shoots out the electricity. Yeah, I'll shoot that out in directions, and as I mentioned, if you run an airhead, you can shoot him at any time, but even if you're not, you put yourself there, you'll be safe. And, yeah, because he'll basically move his head up that way. And what you really want to do is get the finger to him right next to him, so in that case, you can kind of be out of the way. Alright. I got him. Alright, next is the adult part. This is the hardest part of the boss, no question. Because he does a lot of damage, he will shoot out a bunch of lasers out of his eyes. One that goes really fast in a random direction. He has the box there. That hand hurts you, you get hurt badly, your view is blocked. If you're running anything other than what I've got as far as power-up, you can't penetrate that hand. So he puts that hand in the way, your shot's gonna be blocked. Yeah, but the laser, that's not happening. So that's why you use the laser. You use it for this part, because this is the hardest part of the boss. And even in the Japanese version, those lasers can hurt. Alright. Almost got him. Okay, so last phase, the grandfather phase. I showed what happened when you let him catch you. He dies of a stroke, I guess. That was the World Illusion play, I showed that. Basically, wait till his hand does the rustling and move out of the way. I'm gonna kill him because there is a secret bonus point here. Okay, just keep hitting that B button as long as you just keep an idea of when that rustling is. Basically, wait a second or so after you see it, move out of the way, he'll never hit you. As soon as you see the clouds over there, you're good. Here's Zero is dead. And there is Bino. As I mentioned when I showed this off before, do not touch him. Do not touch that pole at all. That hitbox is active until I shoot the rope off of him. I remember playing this game at one point, getting this. I touched the pole, I got killed. Actually, it was at this level of health with the US version. I had to do the whole boss over again, so don't do that. So to get him off, I'll just shoot him off. Also, basically wait until he says, I cannot believe it, before you start moving towards that. Because it's insanely easy to get all the debris out.
You've got another try.
We'll find everything with 2 pieces, but yeah, you're pretty much guaranteed to continue there. Which is good, because we're entering near the end of the game now. And there we go, that is World 6. Alright, there we go. So, got another key from Keymaster, and so you know what that means. Heather's back with her, his disembodied hands. Yeah, well, fine, she doesn't have arms, just like Rayman. I think I mentioned that at one point. Dynamite Headdy is almost like a precursor to Rayman, or fine, Rayman was being made on the Super Nintendo initially, as far as the idea, but yeah, Headdy doesn't have a neck. Heather doesn't have, arms. But that's the idea as we're going. Alright, we're in Paradise, question mark, or Headdy Wonderland, as the, US is calling it. You got these great, this great music here, very peaceful music, peaceful look. As you can, actually, I never knew you could jump on the sides of these Flowers here. Okay. Actually, now I'm fascinated. I did not know you could actually do this until right now. Every time the cows dead, actually, what I will do, I want to show off one thing. Oh, yeah, the lucky cats. They look at you specifically. They give you the eyes that way. Actually, I want to let this music play because I love this music. And we don't hear it very long, in all honesty. Also, it's worth pointing out, head case over there. If you didn't get all of the bonus, if you didn't get the secret numbers for the bonus stage, you can play the bonus stage here again for another try. But you at least have to have 2 of them here, otherwise you're not going to be able to get all of them. I basically just go through. It is nice. It looks beautiful, the colors, all that stuff. Jump on the cows. That sounds weird. It needs to die. Yeah, kill that one that makes the weird noise, and you get a secret bonus point. They hit that birdie off, and that's a secret bonus point, too. Alright, now this part. In the US version, there is no context to this whatsoever. There's a lot here. This actually explains the plot very significantly where we're at. But anyway, here's this. This is, well, Yayoi, or the Gatekeeper, who is in the geisha outfit. Doesn't look like this in the US version. I'll show that off later a little bit. You're Headdy, aren't you? Very grateful for your courageous actions. Well, thank you. Unfortunately, this is not the Emperor's castle. Please don't put all those who escaped in danger. I implore you, please go away. Okay, that's weird. You're showing your appreciation towards me. You're saying, like, yeah, the Emperor's castle not here. You're gonna put people at risk for helping. Yeah, I don't like the sound of that. Neither does Heather. Don't do it. It's a trick. The castle really is here. We need to stop this puppet somehow. What in the world? If it's come to this, then I'll make you leave by force. Alrighty, so this is the boss here. Yeah, we only have 1 level in level 7. Yeah, basically what you want to do is you gotta make it so that Yayoi basically will point towards you, or basically aim to you to hit with the arm down like that. Ow. And make it so that Heather can throw the key into its back. And you have to time it so she actually will throw it in there. She can miss. I'm gonna try and see if I can't make this miss. Maybe, come on. Oh no, she's not. Yeah, you have to kind of try to make it miss. And basically all those keys, the key masters, she's tossing in. Ow. And usually what you gotta do is you have to basically keep her, or keep Yayoi in the way enough so that, yeah, Heather will be able to make the jump over to hit. Yeah, fine. I'm gonna try and see if I can't make Heather miss. Ow. Also, yeah, it is, I believe, a random pattern upon which Yayoi will jump. Yeah, and I don't think I'm gonna have enough. Yeah, fine. I'm gonna try once more. If I can't get her to show missing, I will have missing showing there. Alright, fine. Oh no, I got her one more. Because she's running all 5 of the keys. Alright, so got it. Alright, fine. I will put an edit in showing what happens when she misses. But by not missing and doing that, well, we busted that machine that was on Yayoi's back. I get this rumbling going. Seeing what's going on here. Now, in the English version, we see this. There's no context here whatsoever. We just go to the next part of this. But now, for the Japanese version, it says this. As you can see, the keys are necessary to open the entrance to the castle. So this is where Dark Demon's castle is. Again, the US version doesn't say this whatsoever. I'm sorry if I appear to be using you, but please be careful from this point on. Alright, thank you. Yeah, in the English version, what happens is we just have to look over the castle and Heather's grabbed there. But in this case, yeah, we also have this with Yayoi saying, you know about the entrance to the secret castle? Or the secret entrance to the castle? Who are you? Doesn't matter who you are. I cannot allow you to pass. Alright, so we gotta save Heather. Yeah. Yeah, Yayoi gets demonized. Its hitbox is its head, or finds chest when it's exposed. Also, I shot off screen to get Bino over there. Ow, that's where the last secret bonus point is. Yeah, knock him off, that's the secret bonus point. You have to hit the chest and she'll drop the bomb. The other thing you want to do is you also want to shoot off the other side so you can get the bomb going over there. Also, you gotta be careful not to hit Heather. I'm gonna show this... Oh, shit, I threw it off screen. Okay, so I made this boss actually go a lot longer. Oh, sort of. I got that. I'm gonna hit Heather at some point. Okay, fine, I hit. When you do a hit like that, you'll shoot her hand over in whatever direction your head is in. If you're on the bomb, it actually can be pretty useful to do that. But yeah, I'm gonna off-screen this. I was gonna say, I'm gonna try and hit Heather at some point just to show what happens. You get hurt, by the way, doing this. And there's gonna be a flashing light warning when I do that, because despite the fact that this is a modern emulated version of this game, they did not tone this fact. Ow! Shit! I forgot, yeah, you can toss a bow out of the way. Let's toss the bomb out. You have to time the bomb so that... Yeah, the timing of the bomb is real. Oh, flashing light warning now. Yeah, she'll say, no, Heady, no! And you get hurt, by the way, doing that, so don't do that. I won't do it again, but as I said, I want to warn on the flashing light. Ow. Got her. Alright, there you go. Usually get the bomb to the chest like that as a one-hit kill. In the US version, it's 2 hits. That is the quick way to go after this boss.
Got another try.
But yeah, got her. And I will definitely put the flashing light warning in on that when I edit this. But I was also audibly indicating it to you because I knew it was coming. Yeah, I said, it is a modern game, but it still is that way. Actually, it goes to something I'll follow up on. I mentioned we did the Midway Treasures 2. We showed Wizard of War, which is by far the worst flashing light case we've ever had on the show. Bar none. It might be the worst we'll ever have. I asked, did the Midway Arcade Origins collection have the same problem with the flashing lights? And the answer is yes. And also, does the original arcade version have it? I actually was at an arcade recently that had it. I played it. I said, is it really that bad? And the answer is yes, it is. As we were going to the next level, a fight, or the Rocketeer, named after the Disney movie The Rocketeer from 1992. Here you hear that woo, 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 woo. And when you hear that, the rocket's coming by. So what we want to do is use the spike head to jump out of the way. Or jump in the floor, basically being the safety there, but the problem is, as you go along, it's too tiny, so yeah, you have to be Pinhead in order to get through that safely. That's one way to get through this. The riskier way is just to do this, and also remember, the rocket will kill the enemies that are on the path. Yeah, the rocket doesn't care about the collateral damage of the other soldiers, so yeah, be careful that way. Also, you can't do this. Fine, I'm getting hit. I'm gonna say you can't do this. You think, wait, if I crouch with my head hit up to the ceiling like that, yeah, I can't get hit. Yes, you can, so that's not true. So don't do that. One of the secret bonus points actually is getting all the pickups here. So those 500 point items and the banana that's later on, get all those and you'll get the secret bonus point for this. At least for this area. You basically gotta pretty much just get a sense. I think the pattern as far as the timing of when the rocket will go off or when the alarm will go off is sometimes random. But as you see the flashing there of the arrows, that'll give you a sense that, oh yeah, it's coming, so be careful. There we go, got it. And now we're at the missile base, or the Illegal Weapon 3, after Lethal Weapon 3, which is actually out at the time. In this case, you also do the boop, 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 boop. Yeah, so we gotta destroy the rocket machine. You do the same way, either Pinhead method to go into the pit over there, or use Spike Head. As long as you keep wailing on him, you'll have enough hits to do the thing with the Spike Head, usually. Also, when I kill that thing, they're gonna come down. Yeah, hit one of them coming down, that's the other secret bonus point here. Boom. Alright, so we made it through that fine. And next we're at a Radical Party, or Fun Forgiven. Named after the Western Unforgiven by Clint Eastwood. Yeah, they go into movie references as well, and also this game is maybe a little full of itself with the best game, but is a great game, I will say that for sure. And this is also the last place in the game right here where you can get the bonus game play if you missed it, and need all 4 of your things. Also, you have those little bear-like things. You hit them to stop them, and you hit them on those arrows, they'll go down. Also, there's health over there, I do want to go get that. Also, be careful right here. You want to hit the top of that. The bottom will also go left to right, like that. If I fall down there on the left, I will get crushed, and I die. In fact, right here, that would be a case of that, too. Yes, you basically got to be careful of this. Yeah, we're near the end of the game, and the game's not fucking around anymore. So Yeah, we'll put you in cases where you can get yourself killed if you're not careful. Because, yeah, if you get crushed, that counts as a death. Alright, we gotta go up there, but we don't have anything to go up with. Oh, there's the spikes there, or the razor blades. Alright, they're gone. Alright, here we go. So we got boss time here. This is tarot. You have to hit back the icons that are there. You also have to hit the heart, which recovers its health. But if you hit it 3 times, you get a secret bonus point. And also, after a while, it'll expand out, and yeah, that is hard to avoid getting hit by. You want to hit the tiny 8 if you can, because it does more damage to it. Oh, shit. He's actually a harder boss than it looks. Yeah, because you have to be dead on with your aim. Also, you could use Hangman there, but honestly, I don't get the sense there's ever any reason to use him. Alright, you know what the other thing I'm gonna do? Take a nap. Hopefully we won't do the expand out with the icons again. Alright. Okay, when he does the spinning of the... he does his spinning of his sun side like that, that's when it happens. Okay. Alright, so yeah, enough screwing around. Let's get him. Oh, shit! Actually, that's a precursor of what we're gonna need next, but alright, fine, no. Yeah, the controls are really good as far as aiming your head. I don't know if I actually really gave explicit mention to that. But yeah, this level is definitely going to put that to the test. I believe he has 32 HP here, so if you hit him with 4 of those 8s, maybe it's 5 of them, then you can take him down. Yeah, basically this is kind of it. Oh, damn. He has another form, but, yeah, I hope I can survive that long. I'm getting lucky getting out of the way from him. Alright. No! Fine, alright, fine. I'm gonna recover myself. I've never actually fought... Okay, well, completely that way. I got him, alright. So, yeah, the orbs go away, and then the last part is gonna be me actually hitting him. I'm taking them now. And what happened is he'll do the spin out of the sun thing like that. He is able to be hit at any point, but basically you gotta wait until be able to avoid the sun part of him when it comes out. It's basically like a ball and chain or a mace. Just keep doing that. There's no head you got here that's going to make it go any faster. But when it is like this, I believe you do it to hit it. Okay, so yeah, we have to go back, actually. Oh, there's hidden items over there, which you can get later, but we're not getting them now. Yeah, you do have to use the spike head to get up there, so let me go get another boost to that. Yeah, so you have to kind of... You have to go beat this boss, and you have to go backwards. Also, be careful of the plants there. I'll show what happens next. Also, show what happens when you say don't shoot. Yeah, you get the trip head, as they call this. You can't not cancel this, by the way. You have to call around, and yeah, there is kind of an Amos and Andy minstrel show perspective to this, which they didn't change for the US version. I think I said at one point they changed it, but I was wrong. But yeah, there you go. Oh, wait, why was I sliding on my own? I was not touching the D-pad after the... You know what, I want to see something here. Oh, right, I forgot you only hit it once. Actually, I'll hit this in the mouth. Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, if you hit the plant, or you hit it in the mouth like that, it'll shoot your head off a bit, and they can come back and hit you. And, you know, I want to see that thing again with this head. Because I was just sliding on my own near the end of it. I don't know why that happened. Yeah, usually I'll avoid this. I've actually been really good avoiding this, because there's cases in the game where you can get this in a place where you don't want to have it, like in a boss, or in one of the last stages, and yeah, you can be trouble if that happens. Okay, so maybe it's a glitch I found. I don't know. Okay. Now, we have one last thing we gotta do. We have to go across the spikes here. But the thing is that Hangman is on those rotating tiles that go behind. So yeah, you have to time it very specifically to get down to where the scarecrows are, so you avoid getting yourself hurt. Also come down here and there's health over on the right. No, there's a life. Okay, we're good. There's also that other life we saw on the wall. You don't want to go get that. Don't bother. In this case, you got time, and you also have to be careful about, you know, where you're shooting. I guess also don't shoot up there, because I guess you'll fall. Yeah, if you shoot up there and get the trip head, as they call it, yeah, you're gonna be in trouble. Whoa. Okay, yeah, I'm actually doing way better on this than I usually do. Oh shit. Yeah, the spikes do hurt, so I gotta be careful. And if I die here, I gotta fight Taro again. I don't want to do that. No! Also, that's the other thing. Yeah, when Hangman goes off on behind the wall, he's not a physical object anymore. So yeah, I can't hold on to him. You basically have to know when they're turning and then be able to time it for when you're going to be able to have a safe passage. Like there. Also, yeah, you have to shoot that one. That don't shoot one, and then you get everything there. There's also item, you have to go into the wall down here. It's not worth doing that. I'm not doing it. Let's go. As in Reverse World, or vice versa, which actually, that is the name of the movie, specifically. But anyway, yeah, remember Castle of Illusion, or many other games we played? You have a reversing gravity effect. So you hit these little motors here, and the whole place goes upside down. And you can only kill the boats when they're upside like that. Also, in this case, you have the top hat enemies. You have to hit the fireballs. I think you have to hit all three. Yeah, hit 3 of them out of that, and then you get the super bonuses here. Alright. This is actually easier than the last level, but I gotta be careful. I'm running out of health. You just keep flipping it over and keep going on. I do love this, and the idea that, yeah, we're kind of in a little bit of a happy return, seeing the thing with the gears like when we're in the factory. But in other cases, not completely. Alright. Yeah, but I'm in trouble, so I gotta be careful. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but yeah, there's an H in the Japanese, or in the US version, I should say, where my spotlight is. Japan, you don't get that. So it's kind of a small thing, as I said. It's more just really kind of showing sort of the small things, and then the big thing about the story, because actually the way the ending is way different. Which we're approaching. We should be getting there pretty soon. This is not a long game. That's also why I buttressed this with the Switch Online overview. Also, one other thing I'm gonna do is I'm taking a nap. And a drink of water. Alright. Worth doing that. Okay, so we do have a boss here. You want to start with Empty Head because you're invincible. So let's take that. And there's a look at who we're searching for. Dark Demon. Yeah, you have to switch the gravity around so these balls will come down on this guy and hurt him. But apparently when they're bouncing, they're not good. But yeah, well, he'll stop and face you, and he'll try and shoot a laser. Basically, wait till he does that. Be right where an orb is or a boulder, and then just let it drop on him. But I ran Empty Head specifically because the boulders coming down, they'll hurt you if they touch you. But they touch you without when they're moving. Yeah, like that. So you gotta be a little bit careful, and time it specifically. And the biggest ones will hurt them the most. Ow. Just over there. Also, you can get him over here, which actually, this is probably the safest place to get him. Because at that point, you have a platform over there, you just hit him, and yeah, perfect, he's going down. Alright, time for the boss here, which can be a real pain in the ass, or it can go really quickly, depending on how lucky you are. And how quick you can run it. Alright, this is Funny Angry, or Twin Freaks, to take off on Twin Peaks, the David Lynch program. We do get this great boss music here of the gears of the area. Alright, so this is the boss. He's called Twin Freaks for the US. He's called Reaverface, or Reverface for Japan. It said funny angry, that means it's kind of got a bit of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing going on. It's here discovered. Did well to make it this far for a scrap puppet. That's unfortunate for you. My honor prevent you from confronting the Emperor. Start the death race. Destroy target. Steady as she goes. Alright, so you hit him in the air. And there's a Bino thing you can shoot out of his ear. That will be your secret bonus point. Yeah, you can only hit him when he's green. When he's red, he will go faster, and he is invincible. You have to use the gravity case in order to get yourself going, and also be careful when you do a flip like that, because the spike pits are in different places. If you're crushed to that, you're dead, so be careful. Your tip here is get the hammerhead. Yeah, if you're going this boss and you want to make it less painful, get hammerhead and look for an opening to hit him. You're basically right about here. He will go down really quickly, although it doesn't look like he is. Come on. Oh! That was lucky. Like, I got him down that much, but yeah, the rest of this is going to be a little harder. No, yeah, if he crushes you into the wall like that, you're dead, so don't let that happen either. Ow! The stuff that comes out of his ear is not safe either. You basically have to time it so you'll have enough of a place to open or hit him and... Oh, wait. I'm gonna have to look back at that. It looked like I got hit by something coming out of his ear when that happened. Alright, almost got him. Okay, one more hit. Oh, we're getting to this shit. You have to do the turn. Oh, boy. Oh, shit. So close. Yeah, this boss is hard. Especially if you don't kill it quickly. That could be the area where you get yourself killed if you're not careful. Or if you're not quick. You know what to do? Jump up here and start hitting them. Do not waste any time. Oh, shit. Or hit that way. And you know what? I might get a game over. Which is fine because I have continues, but still. Gotta be a little more careful. Especially the next level, because this game is gonna start having a fucking hard-on for going through and crushing you. Especially the next level. Alright, let's get going. Basically, every opportunity you have to be safe and hit him, use it. If you take a couple hits, it's probably worth doing that, at least in the Japanese version. US version, get Hammerhead. Actually, I think Hammerhead does more damage in the US version, shockingly. Even though I'm saying, yeah, it's way easier. Oh, crap. Also, I think you can hit him at the bottom of his ear. I don't think you could in the US version. I don't think you could. Oh, shit. I don't want that, but like, fine, it's something. Not that it's do more damage, but at least it's something else. Actually, make it easier to avoid the, No. And yeah, in this case, I do need to turn him angry so that I can, get through there without getting myself, over a massive spike pit. Damn. Actually, wait, I can just hit him in the ear like this. Yeah, don't even bother. Just keep hitting him. No! Got him. Ooh. And as soon as you beat him, you go down on the floor and the spikes will not hurt you.
You've got another try.
Okay, good. Thank God. Actually, I've never seen it where you're able to have a piece of debris there at the end of it. And there's Nikki playing Pokemon Unite. Again, thank you, Nikki, for helping name the show. It was this game that we did it with, or that you did it with. I'm looking forward to our play of Freddy Fish, Case of Missing Kelp Seeds, and Case of the Haunted Schoolhouse next week. So yeah, as I said, when we're online with Switch, anybody on my friends list can show up. People have been on the show. As I said, that will not be the case when we do that Pokemon Gen 9 display in a few weeks. And I do get a full health recovery. As we're at the Rival, or Natal Contraption. This is the last area of the game, the last world of the game. And this is where things are going to get harder. Alright. Wahaha. Just what I expected the Emperor's Castle. Think such an awesome body as this would be abandoned in a garbage dump. Well, it seems to be pity for you to be defeated so quickly. I'll play with you for a little while. Alright. Yeah, here's what this is all about. It is an auto-scroller going up, and you can get crushed. And there is a trip head there. Do not hit it. Instead, hit the hammerhead, because you hit all of the shoot blocks there. Specifically the ones that are red and blue, you get a secret bonus point. Also, you want to use that to go up here and kill Coco there. Yeah, that enemy. he gives you a secret bonus point. Yeah, this gets really tight with some of the things you have to do. Going right here, where you basically have to be jumping correctly right here and run at the speed you get in order to avoid getting crushed. And I don't... Okay, that was amazing. I didn't get crushed there. Thank God. Yeah, this is a stressful part. I will definitely say that. It's fitting, I guess, because it's the end of the game. But I was like, okay, damn. And you also still... Mariama will keep shooting stuff at you, so be careful. Also, look where the opening is. You don't get yourself crushed. Again, also, run for Hammerhead. You can use Pinhead to go the other way. Don't do it. Go this way. Remember, if you're going for secret bonus points, you have to use this to get that at the end. And they give you just barely enough time to get there with the timer for this. Alright, whoop. That being said, if you are going to get here, hit that one first, because you can't... Yeah, hit the blue one first as far as that target. You only hit it with the Hammerhead, and I got it. Oh my god, I can't believe I got that on my first try. As far as the other secret bonus points, no promises, because these are really hard. But we're done with this part for now. Alright. Alright, so he's got me in my sights. I am trapped. And he is saying, "Mwahahahaha," 28 times. I specifically count. In fact, also, the other thing I'm gonna do, since they're playing the full Mariama theme at the end of this, I want the end of it to play. I didn't know it did on this level. I didn't remember it did on this level. And the US version, there's no text box here, so you wouldn't hear the whole thing anyway. Okay, so let's let it be here. Yeah, you guys keep doing that laugh. The day of reckoning has finally arrived, my rival. I could have fished you up at any time. I was just having a little fun with you. It looks like the last boss of the game will be Mariama. In the afterlife, you'll have all eternity to regret ever crossing paths with me. Alright, so yeah. But also, because of that text box, this makes more sense, because yeah, he got that robot thing from the dumpster. It didn't work. And the US, you never know that that's the context of this. It's like, oh, it just stopped working. It goes haywire. And it has, so yeah. Mariama's out with us. As we're on to the next level. Brain Break, as it's going to be called. Or Far Trek, Takeoff on Star Trek. Here's the deal, you're running away from Mariama. Okay, I already missed the secret bonus point here, by the way. He can grab you like that, and he'll hold on to you. He won't hurt you, but you have to hit your head to knock him off. You have to avoid getting grabbed by him for a minute when you first start this level. And he'll bounce specifically when you go left and right like that, but when you get too far away or to a different direction, he'll kind of stop. He'll stop doing the bounce, like, fuck, it shows right here. Yeah, right there. So sometimes you might have to jump over him or under him. Like, yeah, you think, like, oh, he jumped backwards that way. No, he won't. And at the same time, you gotta avoid getting shot with the lasers, which are actually harder to avoid in the US version. In the Japanese version, you usually can kind of just be at the end of it and be set. So I'm gonna take advantage of that. Yeah, basically just pretty much survive this. That's what you have to do it. Damn, I'm still getting hit. And you do know when you're at the end, I'll show you when that happens. Assuming it does happen, I don't die here. If we do die, I'm gonna game over. Which is fine, because I got tons of continues. Ow. Okay, fine, here we go. Yeah, when, Mariama, or Trouble Bruin, I keep calling Mariama, I guess it's the Japanese version for this. When he does that bounce, he stops chasing you, you're done. He doesn't avoid getting hit by the lasers. Thankfully he's not hitting me with. Because eventually he'll fall back into it and he is done. As long as you avoid the lasers, which, in the US version you can't do what I just did, stay on the side. Alright, last level. Final attack or finale analysis. Take off on the movie Final Analysis. Alright, this is Dark Demon. So you finally arrived, you worthless scrap puppets. But Heather knows something, or thingy. Like, I should probably be consistent with the Japanese names. In fact, I'm definitely gonna be here, because there's a context that is not at all explained in the US here, which is... Look at Dark Demon there. And I said the English manual says, oh yeah, he's the guy who's pulling the strings, and he is. But if you look around his neck, that smiley face, that is Smiley. And she's saying, Smiley, get a hold of yourself. So, unlike what we know, where Dark Demon took this place over, in this case it's Smiley who took over and became Dark Demon and wants to cause trouble here. Fingy, as I suspected, hypnotizing the Keymasters was a failure. Yep, they're already starting to recover. Now let's just say correctly this time. You are the greatest puppet in the world, or the #1 puppet in the world. Yeah, I already know that. So yeah, this is what happens. He's shooting out the laser. In the US version, we only see that happening. We don't get any of that explanation. So yeah, we gotta defeat Dark Demon or Smiley. This is the final boss. Oh boy, he's gonna be hard. You have a thing there, you want to pick up Hammerhead and hit him with that. He goes, yo-ho! Also, the color of his orb means he'll do something different. In that case, I got lucky because he did the purple one. Then you can shoot out a laser across the screen. You want to try and hit the Hammerhead to hit him, so... Oh, shit. Okay, yeah, that was what I was afraid of, and that's a game over. Okay, I'm kind of glad I get to show this. I have 7 continues. Shit. If you give up, you give up. We're not giving up. Alright, so yeah, they're cheering me on. Alright, we're gonna do it. Let's go. Alright, you do start at the last level you died on, so thankfully we're good. Yeah, we're not gonna be getting game over anytime soon with 7 continues. Remember, US version, you don't have that many. And I think it's impossible to get that many. Yeah, what you want to do is you want to do the Hammerhead. The blue, by the way, is that orb, or that laser thing. Okay, yeah, the orange is him doing this. Actually, you do see the orb go to what it's gonna be. Yeah, so actually, in that case, I probably should have been prepared getting the tiny head or the pinhead. The pinhead's the easy way to do this boss. But the quickest way is doing this. You just have to know what it's gonna hit, and oh shit! Uh-oh. Yeah, it's the time when I don't want to get a trip head. Yeah, because I'm done. Ow. Yeah, and I remember I can't cancel this, and the A button's not doing anything. Oh no. Alright, yeah, he does take only a few hits. Also, if you hit all these spike men down, shit, as I get impaled by him, that is the last secret bonus point, but yeah, we're not getting that. Yeah, you get... This takes many more hits in the US version, even with Hammerhead. If you're gonna do this battle at all, run Hammerhead or run Pinhead. Pinhead's the safest, because if you don't know what the attacks are, the rainbow one is the laser. Okay, fine. I actually didn't take down what they all are. But since you do see it while the power-ups are swirling around, just... Yeah, in that case, I can just do that and just be set that way. Yeah, he does hurt. Yeah, with enough perseverance, you can get this. Yeah, you can do 1 hit per pass, but unfortunately, oh crap. Yeah, if you get lucky, he'll do the one that's 2 blocks that way you can go through, but yeah, I'm not getting through. Yeah, if I could get there, I've been safe, but no. In fact, for this, depending on what he's gonna do, I might try and avoid Hammerhead. I'm just trying to get this done as quickly as possible. Okay, I got him with that. Okay, smart thing I did. Yeah, I can just do the rest of the battle this way, and it's gonna be the easiest. And also remember, the pinhead never will expire as far as that, but yeah, even that's not a guarantee. Alright, fine. Enough's enough. Yeah, this is not an easy boss at all, so... I'll do Hammerhead method when I can get it. Alright, yeah, the bats. Yeah, the bats are not too bad, but what happens is if you don't kill them all, they'll shoot them out after you. Ow. I do love the dreamy music, and then it gets kind of more frantic. Alright. I am not getting a Hammerhead on any of these. Ow. Also, Sprite is tearing. I didn't realize that. Ow. Yeah, I might not be able to get him just this way. Oh yeah, the good news with Hammerhead also means it's double damage on the enemy, so yeah, if he shoots the bats out, yeah, you're in good shape. He's like, yeah, just hit him once and then dead. Or just jump out of the way of the one. And the green, I don't remember what the green does. Oh, it's this, which is fine. Okay, fine. When he does the green, if you want to get the last secret bonus point, destroy all those spikes he shoots out. Okay, yeah, next hit I'll get him. And he's being good as far as the patterns. It's something I can avoid. Alright, so yeah, next he dies. Alright, Dark Demon, Smiley, you're going down. Alrighty, got him. Yeah, the US version takes way more time. And the ending's different, and I will show off the ending, because I do have a save state where it is. Okay. And just like you'll see then, this is completely missing everything that's being said here, which is, what? This body? That cool one wasn't me? It can't be. I'm the greatest puppet in the world. Actually, that's who you're supposed to be awarded to, you know. You're a badge of honor. Yeah, that's Heather saying that. Huh? You didn't hear the whole story, and you mistook yourself to be the greatest puppet in the world. So yeah, the idea is that Smiley kind of let fame go to his head, or the idea that he was the best puppet in Puppet Town, and so he caused all this shit. So we had to knock it out of him. So I'm not a puppet, I'm just a badge. That's right, it's my duty to find the greatest puppet there is to present you to. Well then, where is he then? He's right in front of you, of course. The puppet just saved the world. So yeah, that's me. So the idea is that, like, who's the greatest puppet? It's me. He didn't take nicely to that, but now he's like, yeah, we knocked it out of him. So at this point, yeah, come to me. So yeah, I got the nice shiny badge, and Headdy doesn't know what to do with this. You'll see how it's different for the US version, as we have a very long outro actually going to this. There's actually a very long ending, and we're actually technically not done with the game yet, because we got all of those secret numbers. We actually have to wait till after the credits to see that. There's gonna be at least 15 minutes on this alone. It's actually one of the longest endings I can think of out of a Sega Genesis game that I know of. Right, so that's Fingy, or Heather, doing her dirty. She's going back to town. And there's Bo Headcase and Hangman there. And there's Headdy trying to take the badge off. I guess he doesn't know what to do with it, or he doesn't want it on his face. But yeah, Smiley is not taking to that. He's like, yeah, if I'm gonna be awarded the best puppet, I'm gonna be sticking with it. So here's our ending demo. We do this beautiful music. We're gonna hear a lot of beautiful music actually going on to this ending. Because yeah, they're getting ready for the show. It's like, hey, remember, it's the puppet show. We're putting that on. And yeah, it goes to that idea of the stage going on there. So yeah, I guess I get what they were talking about when it came to the sort of real life but surreal thing with the way it looked. Yeah, people out here, you know, doing work, saying like, yeah, get everything out of the way, let's get the ending demo, get that sign out of the ground, we got a place to build. Alright, so there is Smiley's old fortress, Dark Demon's old fortress. So what's going to become of that? Yeah, it's going to be a long time for that, so yeah, chat, feel free to hit me with anything you got. I see something flying towards the distance. Yeah, I guess, yeah, Mariyama. Okay, he's latching onto this thing, and so I guess this is his place now, but yeah, we knocked the sense out of him, I guess. As you're hearing the crosswalk of love, oh my god, I love this music so much, as we get the character roll call. And they're gonna be different for the US version, we'll show them all off. Yeah, that is Dynamite Headdy for Sega Genesis, but we do have one last thing with those secret numbers, but it's going to take a while, a pretty big while, not going to lie. May as well give my final thoughts on this game. I grew up with the US version, so yeah, you didn't see a lot of the stuff in that version as far as story, what is going on, or even some of the character names. A lot of those changed. But regardless of which game you play, this is a great looking, sounding, and playing game that really was a weird one, for sure, as far as how it looked. And it's one of those things that I guess maybe when I was growing up, I was in such a platform idea of myself as far as the kind of games I played a lot of. So I mentioned that before, there's cases in certain genres, I didn't play as many games in them at the time, like RPGs and some other stuff. But with this one, I guess that's what kind of attracted me, even though I rented it for the purpose of its cheat code, but it's something I said, this game is a lot of fun, it's unique, it's gorgeous to behold, it is something that I do remember. It's one of those games that, yeah, Chad, if you have cases like this, feel free to let me know, where you hear the name of a game and you think to yourself, you just hear the name and you're just like, oh yeah. It just kind of brings you back. It has this nice thing. There is, I guess, a nostalgic appeal to this. Even the way it looks, it has this feel just with what it's doing, honestly. That kind of makes it interesting. And there's Rebecca, I guess named after the movie of the same name by Alfred Hitchcock, maybe. That's not in the US version, and I will show the ending of the US version. It actually gives the American names. And the American characters, the ones that are different, because a lot of them are different. But yeah, it's something that I just attached to this, and it was, as I mentioned, one of my early exposures to Treasure, McDonald's Treasure and Adventure, and this one, really. And just something that, I don't know, I just liked how it kind of stood out in a crowd of other games like it. And it just really kind of took me by surprise and really is just very delightful. It's something that is insanely hard, especially as you go along in the US version, and a little bit here. But still, it's something that I wanted to keep playing. I think we mentioned this before in some cases. Actually, Inherent Not mentioned this when we did the preview of this game, and then also everything else with World of Illusion and the other Sega Genesis stuff we looked at then. He said that there's cases where growing up, I would only play a couple games, and nowadays this is the same case with him. He said, I'll stick with my old standbys, keep playing them until I'm great at them, and I guess until I complete them, if I haven't done that. And I think Dynamite Headdy was a game like that too. It's like, this game was kicking my ass. I had the code to kind of go anywhere, see a lot of the game. Then I said eventually one of these days, I said, if I bought it used, as I mentioned, I saw like the Blockbuster box and everything, specifically including the back instructions of it, which I might put a picture of right here somewhere. It's out of the way of all the stuff that's on screen. But it's something that I said, fine, I don't necessarily just want to cheat this whole way. So the question of, hey, if you have a cheat code of a game, are you just going to cheat the game constantly, or you gotta get to a point where, yeah, you want to beat that game and be really good at it. I eventually got to that point and I said, okay, I'm gonna beat this game, I'm gonna play through it as much as I can, I'm gonna go through it in a straight line. Remember, this does not have a save function on the Sega Genesis itself anyway. So, I had to do this in one sitting, and for the purpose of that, it took me time, but it was something that, when I got to that point, when I was able to get there, and I found out, the secret numbers, like, okay, I actually had to beat it again and realize, do the secret numbers that way, everything ready, and I did that challenge. It's gonna be a challenge, although we have infinite lives for what we're doing for that. But, yeah, when I got to that point, like, oh my god, I finally did it. And I felt so satisfied. I think that's the idea. It's satisfying for that reason, but also satisfying just because of how beautiful looking, sounding, and playing it is. Like a lot of the Treasure games we played, and we played a lot of games of theirs on this program. We played Gunstar Heroes, we played McDonald's Treasure Land Adventure, which I think I might play that again when we play Mick and Mac and Global Gladiators, because that's also a McDonald's themed game. I think that's one I think I want to have another recording of for better audio equipment. Not that I think the play we did of McDonald's Treasure Land Adventure was deficient, because it wasn't. I went through that in the game on its hardest difficulty, because it's actually not that hard, honestly. But I think for the purpose of maybe showing more people that one, I think I might want to mix that in. I'll mix it in that way. That's how I'll handle repeats to games like that. But just a lot of the games we played of them, we played McDonald's Treasure Adventure, this again now, Gunstar Heroes, a little bit with Ikaruga and Radiant Silvergun, Mischief Makers, and in May, Chasm22 is going to be joining me. We're going to be playing Guardian Heroes for the Sega Saturn. That's actually going to be our next game of Treasures. So, yeah, there's a little bit of a, I guess not a preview necessarily to that game so much as a little bit of shot at Treasure for you before we get to that one, which is going to be coming in May. I think it's going to be the second weekend. I will get a better sense soon as far as what that's looking like when we get to schedule, but that's not going to be coming for a little while. But yeah, if you've never played this game, this is a great one. And if you are curious about this Japanese version, yeah, you can get online emulations that have the script translated, or just listen to what I said, I guess, feasibly for it. Or for playing on other stuff, there's the Switch Online expansion pack, which is the best ported version. It's on the Sega Genesis Mini 1 unit, where it does have a little bit of audio lag admittingly. It is on the Sega Genesis Classics collection that also has button lag and issues with some of its emulation going on in Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. And there's a mobile version of this, which is free. But yeah, it's going to be tough to play that thing without a controller connected specific. And it also, as I mentioned, Genesis, it is also ported on the PS2 in Japan in the Treasure Box collection that has Alien Soldier this, the Game Gear version of this, and then the Genesis and Game Gear versions of Gunstar Heroes, interesting enough. But it costs a lot of money and it only came out in Japan over there. And then the Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 has the American version in it. And yeah, as far as the Japanese versions, just to go back to that, it's only in the Sega Classics collection, the Genesis Mini, and then Switch Online here and mobile. If you want to play that version. As we're getting this beautiful piece of music, very somber, honestly, when you think about it, as we're going through the credits. Which, yeah, it's all in Japanese, so weird enough, a lot of this game is in English as far as its text. The credits are not, but technically the way we're showing this, I'm going to be showing the English credits anyway. But yeah, I'm glad I got to get back to this one. And have a full show for a recording, because that was the case. I just didn't have one before we did that show back in 2020. I can't believe it's been that long. And I also can't believe that, yeah, this was the game that we had the name of the show. As I said, I was not seeing people specifically because of how COVID was, and maybe still is, depending on who you ask. But it was something I said, I just want to show people this. I want to kind of network, I guess, away from people that I wasn't seeing. And it's kind of turned out to be a good way to do that. And yeah, leave it to the chat. Best town Twitch, as they say, and the people I personally know, Nikki specifically, saying this should be the name of the show. And I said, that just has such a great ring to it. I couldn't say no. And it's also a case where I just couldn't say, you know, I'm not going to be in a case of ever saying, like, oh, I'll take credit for that name. I could not come up with a name nearly as clever as she did for that. And it fit perfectly. It was going on our element of Bad Game Thursday. But for this one, we said, yeah, that is absolutely the way it goes. And that was kind of where the birth of Super Bowl Game Saturday happened as far as the name of the show. And every other show after that is like, yeah, we're just calling the Super Bowl Game Saturday. That's the show. Even when now it's not on Saturday all the time. Or even on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we'll get to that when we get to the schedule. Because, yeah, the schedule is going to be a bit different. Because this is the last Saturday night 7 p.m. show we're going to have for actually a decent amount of time. A couple weeks, actually. Actually, for the rest of the month on top of that. And we'll get to that later, at least. But, yeah, it's interesting kind of just to think about that and kind of think back to that. And honestly, this music kind of makes me surprisingly nostalgic for a lot of things. I mean, that, also for when I first played this game. It's also one of these things that, maybe this is why I kind of tear my eye when I first beat this game. First off, I played the ever-living hell out of this thing to get to where I got to be able to beat this thing with my own devices, specifically as far as bringing my skills to it. And with a harder version, there's also something that listens to this music, it kind of puts that perspective. Think about all the experiences that I had playing this, or that we had playing it tonight. And just kind of a nice look back, kind of something very... It's one of those cases where... I've heard this, the idea that when you finish a game, sometimes you'll feel sad. If it's an emotional thing, for sure, and there's a couple games I can think of, we'll get to that. But also the thought of, you know, maybe sad that there might not be anymore. In fact, Electverse, you said something that I think was really astute and poignant when it came to Kingdom Hearts when we finished that, the first one, saying that when this play is over, I'm going to be feeling sad because it was such a great experience. It was such a unique experience. Talk about the defining games of Super Bowl Game Saturday. There's a lot of defining games we've had for really building this show. Dynamite Headdy is a game like that. Metal Gear Solid is a game like that. Kingdom Hearts is a game like that. There are many others I can't even count. Sonic the Hedgehog was like that because it was the first time we had, yes, when we had Nocturne on the show. There are a lot of great cases we've had that going. And I get what you're saying, or thinking more when you said that. Like, why do you feel sad about something like that? Specifically because, yeah, you've been through this experience, you're looking back on it, and the thought of like, yeah, it's over. There's not anything more to it specifically. Oh, actually, in the case of this game, there is more because as I mentioned, we got all those secret numbers. If we didn't, we would sort of be at the end of the line on this one. But since I did, I will show that, and actually this part is pretty damn difficult. When we get to the end of the credits anyway. And I think maybe that's the idea, and maybe that's what I like also about when you get to cases of, you know, end of game, or especially when you have a piece of music like this, to kind of reflect on it. Or even though it's lit, because yeah, it's the backstage battle we saw before, where it basically is just all shadowed out in purple. It looks beautiful. And just the thought of, you know, the idea of almost this reminiscing on these experiences that we had. And maybe that can be informing that as far as a game we play, whatever it is, as far as us for the show, you personally, myself personally, and my guests personally, and the thought of just the idea of, as I said with Shadow Hearts last week, we got one more little bit of stuff with that one. This was a journey, and I said, man, I feel like I really went on quite a ride on this one. It's one I would not trade for anything in the world. Which usually is the case, no, it is the case with every game we play on the show. No matter what it is, even if it's a game I'm not liking, the experiences that I have with it and that I have with all of you out there in Chatlands are things that make it for a very unique way of playing a game or going through a game, and something that, yeah, I would not trade for anything in the world. And as I said, that's kind of maybe the defining idea of what Super Bowl Game Saturday really is, this kind of deeper look and deeper dive as far as gaming that way, and maybe putting personal faces on it, whether it's myself or whether it's all of you in chat or anybody who's come into the show that way. Because hey, look, anybody can play anything or play a game that way and kind of go into certain things with it, but why is it important? And I think maybe that's what a game like this or many other games can kind of go into, saying about that. But alright, yeah, we're seeing the Treasure logo there, or the Treasure indication, yeah, that was developed by them. And presented by Sega in 1994. We got one last thing, sort of. Where the game decides to, yeah, we'll just drop the Japanese now. As we go through all the secret bonus points we got, the points we got for each scene or world. And it does not give you, from what I understand, good job if you got everything, secret bonus point cases, which, yeah, we didn't, but I told you where they all were, and I gave you an indication of what some of the hard ones really are to get, but yeah, the one for Bino, I'll have the edit in for that. I'll try to, specific. But nothing else, I'll say this, even though the points don't matter to anything, they don't give you extra lives or anything, or even the secret bonus points, it's definitely satisfying to get them. Honestly, it's one of those cases where, even though I don't get anything out of it, I don't feel really mad about that. And that might be a case when we get to Super Mario Sunshine eventually, because yeah, that's another case where 100% completion is not much, admittingly. But we'll get to that when we get to that game specific, which, yeah, I still have to figure schedule on that, but yeah, Surrender Antonio and the Crusader 64 are all in on that one. Might have an update for that one mid-April as far as where that's standing. But, yeah, they'll come a little later. We did go all the ones out of scene 3. Yeah, I told you this is a long outro. Yeah, scene 7 was only the one level. It's unique the game that way, with just the 3. And I think... Oh no, I didn't get all the ones on scene 8 because of the fact that I died to... Alright, fine, I'm calling them Twin Freaks. So I'm kind of using the Japanese and English names interchangeably. I'm aware of that. And then scene 9... Oh, there were 4, because yeah, the 2 I missed, so never mind, and the 2 I got on the Fatal Contraption. Which was a take on Fatal Attraction, I think I didn't mention that. Alright, so yeah, there you go. Our secret bonus point total was 33 out of the 39. With that, we have 439,200 points gotten, and we're at the end of the credits, so press the start button. Oh, and they do remind you of the fact that you got all the secret numbers. They won't tell you what they are, though, by the way, so you better have written them down, or done a screenshot of them on this system. Congratulations. Well, thank you. Okay, you have to put the secret number. If you get this wrong and don't have one, it's back to the Sega screen with you. But let's type it in. 0, 3, 1, 5. The door opens. Yeah, this is the last challenge. Okay, so what is this? I'll explain this. The theme song, by the way, here is called I Love Goldie Hawn. I mentioned that when we did the first look at this, or fine, second first look, I guess, at this a couple months ago. That's the name of the music here. This is supposed to be the president of Sega, so at the time that would have been, for the Japanese continuity, that would have been Hayao Nakayama, and for the US, it would be Sega America's president, which was Tom Kalinske. So yeah, it's one of those. So, like, wait a second, what's the president of Sega doing in this game? To the tune of a song that's named after Goldie Hawn. Who I looked up, by the way, there's no game she's been in, so yeah, there's no element of, Goldie Hawn on the show, aside from this, weirdly enough. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think, like, what would be the game of Goldie Hawn for this show. I don't think they're gonna make the Overboard game, or the Banger Sisters game, maybe. But, anyway, that scene was a huge success. Alright, so basically he's the director of all this. Regrettably, we haven't prepared the next scenario yet, but even more spectacular. Maybe something like blowing up the Puppet World. And again, the US version has this part of it, but it doesn't have the text boxes. So yeah, he apparently is going to blow up the Puppet World just for, success and money. Headdy, my boy, I'll have you desperately fighting for your life again next time. Well, technically you won't, because outside of the Game Gear version, there never was another indication of Dynamite Headdy. Which, talk about a strange thing, and also the idea of needing more love. Yeah, I'd like another one of these. I think there'd be a way to do it. As far as why it probably didn't... I don't know how well this game did in the US. I guess it did okay. Well enough, I guess they ported it all over the place. But, yeah, there was never another adventure of Dynamite Headdy aside from that Game Gear version. It's basically a pared-down version of this. And it doesn't have this in it. Okay, so... we have to fight, the president of Sega, whoever that might be, depending on region. This is 3 hits and you die, and it's worth pointing out one thing. You have infinite lives here. Thank God. Because, yeah, he's obsessed with money. So he has 2 goons. Look like Dick Tracy. Start attacking him. They'll throw out money. He'll go in a zigzag like that. Ow. Yeah, 3 hits you die, so do not hit the money. This is gonna take a while, I guarantee you this. Ow. You have to hit him enough to kill one of them to get him out of the way. Okay, there you go. This is what's gonna happen. Thank God they give you infinite lives here. Yeah, there's nothing that's gonna stop us until we do this. And the dialogue's still the same. You can hit any of the goons in any order you want, which you want to do is you want to avoid where the money is. Kind of zigzags a little off on the side. If you can kind of jump out of the way, you can sort of be okay. Ow. Okay, yeah, when you hit the one, he starts running like that, he's gone. Ah, crap. Yeah, because I'll each throw out money that way, so it's actually harder to avoid it earlier on, and then you get to the last part, which is actually going to be pretty easy. Oh, yeah, that's what the pause screen looks like. It just hits pause on the side. Okay. Yeah, as far as the tip here, it's pretty much just keep an eye that the money's going left and right. You can kind of jump out of the way of the one of it, and then also kind of just move a little bit. Yeah, not very well. I'll count also at the end of this how many times this took for me to get it. We're just gonna be doing this, so get used to this. And there's not a bonus, by the way, if you do this on your first try without dying. So, yeah, don't bother trying to try this. Now, you kind of have to go sort of left and right on one way and then go quickly to the other side. That's the way you want to do this when you have 2 of the money things going on. Yeah, who knew money was so deadly? Yeah, Headdy, I guess so. I was like, yeah, because he's not in this for the money. Clearly. I mean, look, this is supposed to be the head of Sega. I know that, Treasure's confirmed that. But I don't know if maybe this is also maybe their shot at Konami, perhaps. Because, like, Konami's idea is like, hey, you know, we just want to make stuff that's not original. Oh, hey, look, I get why they want to keep making stuff for Castlevania and Contra and Sparkster and things like that. Sure, they're awesome games. But maybe the thought that, I don't know, this is maybe them kind of venting their frustration, saying that, hey, we want to make something that's gonna be more unique and more original. Actually, I'm doing really well here. Okay, so yeah, when there's only one thing for that, that's okay. Alright, so, last form. The other thing with the now you hit him, you'll do that. the money will follow you across screen. So basically what you do is hit him once. You can only hit him once, just basically wait and then just go to the other side. Keep doing this, will win. Basically stay on the side of it and he won't hit you. So in some ways this is actually one of the easiest parts of this. As long as you just don't get it to a case where you're letting him happen too close. So yeah, pretty much just hit him, go to the left or right, wherever you are on that edge of the screen. Just go to the other side. It does take some time and he won't attack you until you hit him. Okay, so this could take way fewer attempts than I thought it was going to. I think it's like 5 or 6. I'll have official count down here because, yeah, unless I really fuck this up, I'm not dying here. Yeah, we'll go faster as you hit him more times. Oh shit, I might have fucked it up right there. Okay, no, I didn't. We do get this great music. Okay, yeah, I got him. Which is the thing with the money and his hands, you got him. You just hit him once more and he's dead. Okay, so that was actually less painful than I thought it was going to be. And there is our last overture. There you go, Headdy. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the memories, my friend. Good job with the thumbs up. Hold the sign down. Boom. Alright. And that is indeed the end of Dynamite Headdy for the Sega Genesis. But one thing I'm going to do quickly... I'm going to show that English version ending. So yeah, a little more time for that, but I want to show what's different. So what I'm going to do is, when it lets me skip back to the Sega screen, which it will eventually let me do, at least I think it will. It did for the US version. Actually, yeah. Yeah, you know what, fine. I'll let it be here just for a second. I'll take another drink of water. Because this is not going to be as long of a show. That's also why I did the extra stuff with Switch Online at the head of the show. Yeah, I'm just trying to see. Yeah, I can... Yeah, okay, maybe the US... Okay, never mind, it does. Okay, fine. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to quit out of this. Okay, so what I'm going to do, also go home. Let's boot up the US app for this. I will show that version briefly. I'll show the save state that I have at the end, because it shows the ending, which is way different, and it also shows the different creature designs that we did not see. I think for that, we can then shut the show down. Alright, so go here, pull up my suspend point. We're going to do this one. I basically beat... No, I didn't basically. I did beat Dark Demon off screen for this, so yeah, let's jump back into that. Alright, so he's dead. Yeah, on 1 health. Yeah, I really was cutting it close there. Alright, same thing with Smiley, but we don't know who the hell he is. If we're just going on the US's continuity. No dialogue. There he is. And actually added a different animation for Heather's sprite here. Yeah, she's happy and excited about me saving her, so she's kissing me. Yeah, so it's way different for the US. So it's basically the idea of like, yo, I guess the damsel in distress plot, sort of, a little bit. Although Heather mostly has not been that throughout this game. Also, yeah, the puppets are appearing again, which is a little bit of a different case with the stars coming down. So yeah, you are getting a little bit of a look to this. Alright, and there's, Heather there, and yeah, so basically, Headdy's there with his friends now. So yeah, he was over on the side for the Japanese ending. And as far as Smiley, yeah, he's nowhere to be seen. Yeah, see why it was probably worth showing off both of these? Or showing the idea of where the story is changing. I think also for that, what I will also do is, I will at least show off... Yeah, I'm trying to think about how I want to do this. I can at least show off the Crosswalk of Love, I think, and then I think they'll be fun. Oh, no, I was going to show off the ending credits, so no, fine, you know what, we'll sit here for the purpose of that. Actually, perfect timing, I guess, because at that point, I guess I can go into stuff with the show schedule, because, yeah, Guess we're ending Super Bowl Game Saturday a little earlier tonight, but as I said, this is not a long game. And hey, it's fine that way. We go as long as we have to on the games we've got. As I said, I'll front load them a little bit with certain things for this. Because yeah, if I were to do this without this, the way this operated, it would have been about probably 3 hours total with how I'm doing this, what I'm showing, along with the Switch Online stuff. But that being said, that's fine. One thing we also will see a little bit that's different is the fact of, well, Dark Demon's Castle was totaled. It looks a little different, I guess. Because yeah, you're seeing like the ladders and things off there. Actually, I've never looked at them left and right before. This looks mostly the same. But of course what happened there is that, yeah, remember, Trouble Bruin didn't look like he did before. He was not purple in the US, and he also didn't look angry in the Japanese version, but he is now. There we go. And yeah, we have the curtain call. Yeah, the townsfolk are not individually named in this version. Actually, I've not really looked back and forth as far as what these, what the endings are like. Get to enjoy the Crosswalk Love. I love this piece of music. It's one of my favorite pieces of music. If I'm gonna ask, I guess then in that case, best piece of music in this game, I will say my answers are probably gonna be this one, the Spinderella, Babyface Boss. Let me think about this more. Those are the two that really stand out for me. But outside of that, I love Southtown, the Terminate Her 2. That's a favorite of mine. The practice area, for sure. And yeah, fine. I'll pick one more as the last one, so I have 5. Actually, the Puppet Tower, the climb up the tower that way. Yeah, and there is Catherine de Rigueur. Yeah, that's weird the way they spell that. But yeah, it's supposed to be a take on Catherine Deneuve, for sure. I mean, yeah, she is a famous actress, a very talented actress, and a sex symbol of sorts, so yeah, fitting that way. And it's a bit of a GA general audiences rating for the US, so yeah, most of that was lost on the US. It was lost on me when I grew up, so like, there's that idea too. Also, yeah, they changed the color of the frogs there, which you didn't really see the frogs in the Down Under area as much. Yeah, but they're apparently not green in this version for the US. So yeah, you're sort of seeing the differences, if nothing else. And in fact, what I'll do is also, yeah, I was waiting for Mons Meg. Yeah, that was what Rebecca, the creepy doll, was. Like, it was this Prince Castle robot thingy. So yeah, definitely some changes for that, and like, weird as far as certain things they made. But I mean, I guess it goes to one thing, because I remember when we played Gunstar Heroes, the plot of Gunstar Heroes was totally different for the US as well. So I don't know if it was the Sega who said, wait, we're not sure if people are going to get this, or what, or there's a concern with, I guess, things to be censored. But as I said, even the most potentially objectionable part of this game was not changed that much. The not blackface head, that was not changed for the US version. I thought it was. For a while, I thought, oh, they changed some details in the sprite. I think maybe very slight, but not much that you're gonna notice it, honestly. And it's not a case where people would say, like, hey, this is the problem with this game, or that's something that they kind of picked up on it in a way. I mean, the other thing, I mean, it also go to the idea of, like, what do people say about Jinx of Pokemon, or Mr. Popo for Dragon Ball Z, which is the idea is that what that's supposed to represent is not necessarily a blackface concept. In the US, it's viewed that way, for sure, and understandably so. In the US, it's based on, actually, I wish the Crusader 64 is with me on this one right now, because he'd know the specific context of, I think it's like, not necessarily like a demon or a witch thing, something as far as Japanese culture and legend that's a reflection of. So that was the reason why, but of course, we've sometimes said this, the idea that for certain regions, they'll change things because what may be taken one way in one place be taken as another. Like, actually, it's enough, like the thumbs up, say, in certain cultures, that's seen as like an obscene gesture. So, like, hey, the US, fine, but somewhere else, not really. Or, I remember, actually, I think it was Mario Tennis Aces on the Switch was like this. Or one of the Mario Tennis games, I don't know which one. It wasn't that one. I'll have the name, I guess, above, because I don't want to block the names of the characters here, saying what Mario Tennis game it was. There's a picture of Luigi, or one of the taunts Luigi's does is he'll put, like, the L to his forehead. So yeah, he has the shape of an L on his forehead that way. But they changed that for one of the regions, or we mentioned that with Ocarina of Time, when the case of, you know, some of the references to the Islam religion, Muslim religion, I should say, that way. No, the religion of Islam and Muslim faith, I should say, specific to that. which was in our version sort of in the US, and then was taken out when the game basically finally released. But early release revisions had it. Yeah, this is the case. We had the Gatekeeper. Yeah, Gatekeeper's just a robot who appeared with no fanfare whatsoever. We were at Heady Wonderlands. And sort of similar with the Nasty Gatekeeper, and the bomb is smaller for some reason. Yeah, so there's the Twin Freak specifically and all the stuff that he had there. But, yeah, so there's Dark Demon floating. Yeah, but no mention of Smiley. In fact, I don't think they even give him any credence. Yeah, there is Trouble Brewing. So you're seeing Trouble Brewing both ways, if nothing else. But yeah, so I'm not completely understanding in some ways why they changed all of the floating platform, I think it said. That was wrong, I think. It was a typo. I never actually noticed. Okay. But, yeah, in that case, yeah, you're seeing Trouble Brewing is definitely a lot more, angry, potentially, as far as this. Alrighty, so, yeah, I think with that, I think we're going to be ending Super Bowl Game Saturday eventually, because we got a long credit sequence to sit through, if nothing else. But I had a great time doing this. I had a great time coming back to this game and adding a little something extra with the first 45 minutes or so of the program for stuff for Switch Online. Like first, we definitely will get to Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3. I'll talk to Nocturne probably in a couple weeks. I'll float it probably when we do our Start of Mega Man Legends 2 then, which is the next time she's going to be on the program, to get a sense of, I think, how we want to handle that Super Mario Bros. 3 play. I think we got to give that one the full play and, like, look at every single one, and I think she'd be down with that. In fact, I know she would be. But just to get in line. Okay, fine. Smiley is given, lip service in this game. We don't know anything about him story-wise. So in that case, it's fascinating for me to look at this, having grown up the other way, or this way, and saying a sense of, oh, there's this whole story element of it that was going a different way when all in the background when I was not aware. And yeah, you will see the English credits. Alright, so yeah, that is the end of Dynamite Headdy. Glad to play that. As I said, next time we come back to Treasure, it will be with Guardian Heroes for the Sega Saturn with Chasm 22. As at some point I will show off the Game Gear version of this. I just have to get a Retron 5 at some point. I just have to sit down and figure, because as I said, the challenges when it comes to this show as far as certain systems, I said it's been three things. It's been the PC figure, it's been Game Gear with that Retron 5, and it's been 3DS and DS with the 3DS capture device that I'll have to get eventually. But let's go into schedule, because actually that is a fitting segue, really, because next week we have figured out the PC situation. We're going to have our first PC game played on Super Bowl Game Saturday. I've been saying this for years. I said we're going to do PC eventually. Feels like probably thinking like, are you really getting it? It seems like you've been talking about it a lot, but you haven't had much progress. No, I have progress now. We have our way to do it. We're going to be playing Freddy Fish Case of the Missing Kelp Seeds and Freddy Fish Case of the Haunted Schoolhouse for the PC. I want to explain something briefly as far as that one. It's going to be Nikki playing it. So yeah, she was on, we did Guitar Man back in January, and Ed Wack is going to be with her as well. Well, it's going to be the three of us, the duo again, or the trio, I should say it that way. Including with the person who named Super Bowl Game Saturday, so fitting we're doing this game the week before that. Couple notes. One, it's going to be Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so yeah, this is where you want to spend your St. Patrick's Day, I would think, to see that not necessarily underrated point-and-click edutainment PC puzzle game from the 1990s, but just also to get a sense of what that is and understand a very important game to Nikki's growth as a child and just a lot of the games she likes. I think that's been an interesting thing when we've had people come in say that this is a game that shaped so much of who I am, whether it's been myself or all the other guests. We had Nocturne with that with Mega Man Legends, and the other games that she's played, like Aladdin and with Mega Man Legends 2 that's coming up next month. Protorova had that with Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and GoldenEye, and he's going to have that with Lunar Silver Star Story Complete. The Crusader 64 had it with The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask and Shadow Hearts as well. And Chasm 22's got some stuff that he's going to be coming in for. Ed Wack with Guitar Man. Dolly Finn with Tetris Attack as well. I'm just trying to think of some of the games. Inherent Knocked with World Illusion as far as a couple examples. I mean, just think like every single guest we've had as far as the show games meant a lot. And Chad, I mean, cases where Electris you had with Kingdom Hearts as far as a very strong one for you and a very good one to be strong with. And also This being a 419 with Eternal Champions, another Sega Genesis joint. That is not on the Switch Online expansion pack, shockingly. Or maybe not shockingly. Maybe we can get that up there. It'd be nice to do that. In fact, if they did, that might also be an interesting way to show it. Or I'll get the Genesis cartridge and also get the Sega CD version, because I think it's probably worth showing both of those. But next week, as I mentioned, it's going to be not Saturday, it's going to be Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Nikki and Edwack. I do want to explain something. PC, I figured or realized when I was doing some of my tests, and I have one more test I got to do with this, that when you go into full screen mode on PCs, the feed cuts. And I've always said how feed cuts work, because the way I'm running PC for this is that I have an HDMI cable connected into the PC that we're going to be using. I talked to Nikki, and she said that she has a PC that we're going to be running that game with. I think Edwack has a couple as backup if we need it. What we're going to do is we're going to do two things. So we're technically playing two games. We're going to do something I've never done on this show, but I think this is going to be the smartest way to do it. We're going to start in the game for the first game, which is Case of the Missing Kelp Seeds. And then when we're done with it, we're going to stop the stream. We're going to have about a 5 or 10 minute break. And then we're going to come back with Case of the Haunted Schoolhouse, the second game, loaded up. And that'll be the second part of our show. So we're going to have a little bit of a commercial break, I guess, for about 5-10 minutes. Get our stuff figured as far as that. We also make the setup for everything. I just have to do audio tests on how everything is going to go. We're not going to have to do muting on mic, thank God, because that game has tons of voice acting, and I was concerned saying that if it didn't have subtitles, how we're going to hear it all. There are subtitles for it. We will be able to hear that. And yeah, we're looking forward to that. I just have to do checks as far as what the sound levels are going to be, which I always do anyway, but I'll definitely do it on this one. In fact, the point where I bought both those games off of Steam. It's like $7 a pop, and there's a bundle in there that I think is every game in the franchise for $40. But I said, for these two, I'm buying them early, purely for the purpose of making sure that the audio and the tech stuff is in line. When I found out that was happening with PC, I said, uh-oh, I'm not going to set her up for that in being a problem. So that's how it's going to operate. I don't think I explicitly mentioned the idea that we'll have a break, but I think she'd be down with that. I think the way this show is going to work, it might not be too bad. And when I do the edit on it, it'll be all in one show, so it'll be pretty seamless. But that's going to be next week at Friday, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday. So that's going to be St. Patrick's Day. This is where you're going to want to be for that one. The week after that is going to be a Saturday program. It is not going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, though. It's going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on March 25th. That will be for Game Dev Tycoon for the Switch. I have the preview program we did for that game about a month ago, uploaded to the YouTube site now. Seems like people are liking that from what I've seen as far as the uploads have gone with it. And it's one that I think they're going to be looking forward to this play. And we're trying something a little different, because Lectors, I know you said, hey, I can't stay up this late anymore as far as like 7 p.m. show. Perfect. I mean, for the purpose of this is also going to be a guest case, because it's going to be Protorova and Blood Spiced Moon on for this show. They said the same things, like, we can't do that late. As far as our schedules are working, we have to do it at this point, 3 p.m. on Saturday. I said, okay, let's do it. And same case is going to be as it always is. You'll have the schedule shown on the Twitch site for Super Bowl Game Saturday, which is twitch.tv/CaptainTTrack, by the way. And you'll be able to see where the schedule is, which I always have up when I know that there's going to be a show. That's actually why last week, before I knew we were going to be able to do Shadow Hearts last week, and if we were going to be doing Dynamite Headdy this week, I waited. But anytime the schedule is uploaded or updated for the next show, it'll be updated. I will not update that in case of situations where we're going to have to cancel a show or something. Hey, something might come up. If something comes up, that'll happen, and I'll let you know. Don't worry about that. But it's going to be a little earlier for that one, and I'm looking forward to that. And it's one that, yeah, I think Protorova, he was asking for this game. He said, hey, can we play this? I don't know if he completely believed we're actually going to do this game for the show, but I think he understands specifically now that, yeah, when I say we're going to do something for the show, we're going to do something for the show. I'm in this for the long haul, as I mentioned, and we're going to keep doing that with people that I'm going to have on the show, and everybody in chat as well. Any games you want to see, I'm working on. Like first, I'm working on Contra Hardcore, for sure. I'm definitely not letting that one hang. We're going to do it, I promise. I said, any game that anybody wants to see in the show, we're going to make it happen as much as we can make it happen. As my thanks for all of you jumping into this and being willing to go on this journey with me. That's been going for almost 3 years now, but yeah, I plan to keep going. Then we get to April. April 1st is going to be the patch-free showcase of the Pokemon Violet version. yeah, I've had a lot of negative things to say about that game. I think people are starting to finally turn my way because we realized this week that they are patching the game, and the next patch is due actually at the end of April. The people are realizing the new patches are screwing up even more things, including the fact that the Terror Raid battles are making it so that it doesn't do a version check when you go into the dens, so you can accidentally go in there and try and fight the new Pokemon that they added in for that. It won't do a check. Edwack almost did that by accident. He's like, I didn't know they updated the game. And if he had done that, or anybody's done that, they go in there, there's an egg, and then you can't get those Pokemon again. And Game Freak said, fine, we know this is happening, we're gonna fix this, we're going to run that event again because we fucked it up the last time. And they also acknowledged today an apparently rare, but also very concerning, save corruption bug that the game introduced with its 1.2 patch. So yeah, people have been saying it's not completely confirmed where this is coming from, but there's thought that the Pokemon Go connectivity might have had something to do with it. There's thought that the DLC that they released as a pre-order bonus that gives you like an extra costume like it did with Pokemon Sword and Shield might be causing it. Game Freak is saying it's very rare, but it was not in even the 1.0 version that we're running for the show, so in a certain way, the unpatched version is going to be more stable, weirdly enough, than the apparently more stable version they have now. I'm not gonna lie to you, I think people are starting to realize now that... Look, I'm not one of those people to say... Oh, fine. To quote Oblina from Aura Monsters, I certainly do not like finding myself in the position of having to say that I told you so, Icky. But I told you so. Yeah, I think they're realizing, yeah, I was right. I think a lot of the comments from people were hearing, even people like Edwack and RB Super, as far as other ones saying that you have to get used to modern gaming. Man, did that comment age like fucking milk. And we're gonna deal with it without the patches that it had, so at least my save isn't gonna get corrupted. And it's also gonna be my first time playing the game. It is still in the shrink wrap. I'm gonna open it live, by the way, on the program. We're gonna have a little bit of a blind play of seeing what did they release for this, what are they still not able to get working, and yeah, we're gonna deal with that. That is gonna be our April Fool's Day show, because that's what we do on April Fool's Day. We bring a game out that is at least worth a laugh, or is bad, or is something like this that needs to be dealt with. Because, yeah, this has not gotten enough of a hard thing, but yeah, I think now that people are losing their saves, and there's enough people going out there saying, I lost my save because of this, I think they're starting to realize, yeah, maybe this was not something that should have been released when it was. Just saying. But yeah, that's going to be happening on April 1st at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be Saturday. In fact, every show in April is going to be a Saturday. In fact, one thing I do since we're at the end of the credits, I'm going to have to pause on this or start button here. In fact, I'll show what happens when you, yeah, they got none of the secret digits, as they call them. So I'm going to type a number in, and we'll get it wrong. I'll go back to the sound test, and we'll put in some music, or some different music to play. And then actually, what I'll probably do is I'll do what I do with the Dreamcast Racing Showcase. I'll put some of my test footage over it when I edit it. For now, it's just going to be that, but yeah, fine. Let's put in our number. Let's say, let's put in for today's date, so March 11th. Yeah, it's wrong. It just shows what happens if you get it wrong. If you get it wrong, you just go back to the Sega screen. So yeah, don't get it wrong if you get all the letters. If you don't get all the letters, that's it. That's game over. Or the game is over that way. So like, yeah, you're not finding out what happened, but yeah, we got through that and got through that in quicker time than I expected to. So let me pull out... Let's see. Let's think of what I should be ending on music-wise. Let's see. That's the Victor music for the bonus game. I do love this music. I could easily just be staying here the rest of the night, just listening to music, like pulling hours out, but I'm not gonna do that. The flight. Yeah, fine. Let's end on the Spinderella boss music. I love this music. This is one of my yeah, this probably is my favorite piece of music in the game, so I think we should end on this. It was either that or Crosswalk of Love, but fine. I gave Crosswalk my love. Actually, I should have played this one. It was tearing into Pokemon Violet and Scarlet version. But yeah, fine. That's going to be the April Fool's Day program. The week after that is going to be Nocturne. Come back to the program. Actually, after a bit of a time, honestly. She's going to be back. We're starting Mega Man Legends 2 for the PlayStation. Fitting, I guess, because I get the sense that there's other people online who are paying attention to that, or paying attention to this franchise. Actually, some call me Johnny channel. He actually did start his look at this franchise starting Mega Man Legends 1. He actually put a video up on that, I believe, today. I'll put on the link list for reference to that. And it goes well with our play of it, which I will also put on the link list. Because, like, yeah, watch his review of it, his discussion on it, compare it with Nocturne's play of it, and our discussion, her and my discussion on that game. And also, how does he handle the Rob Smith thing? He's a little more reserved than we were, but we're gonna have to deal with it again, and I'm gonna deal with that again, whether she likes it or not, when we start with Legends 2, because he's in that one. Unfortunately, he's tainted the whole franchise. Let's not lie here. So if you're never gonna get re-released this franchise, that might be the reason why. But I don't think that's gonna cause anything for that. But that being said, we're gonna start that game. She loves that one more even than Mega Man Legends 1. And very little played of it. They definitely made a lot of improvements to it, and it definitely is something that is still remembered for sure. When they cost a lot of money if you don't download them on PS3. If they're all on PS3. If you PS3, download all of those as quick as you can. Because otherwise, you're spending a lot of money. Yeah, we're going to start that. It's going to be another monthly case where, she'll be playing at least 5 hours a month for this one until we finish it. Then the week after that, we have the finale of Shadow Hearts. I mean, we finished the game last week, but we still have a few more things we want to go over. I want to show stuff with Bestiary. I want to show the ultimate weapons that we didn't show off, some characters. And it is also on his decision something extra he's going to show us as far as another game, as far as a little bit of a preview. He said to me a little bit, he's thinking maybe I want to show off a little bit to start of Shadow Hearts Covenant, the sequel to the game that we played. I said it's your choice if you want to do that. He does think that when it comes back to that franchise, as far as a return to it, that he wants to go back to Kodelka on PlayStation. We can talk about that more, but as I said, pick anything you want to show off that we can plug into the RetroTink 5X, even if it's not PlayStation 2. He's like, you want to give a preview of something the way that Nocturne did with Mega Man The Wily Wars with Aladdin. Like, your choice. Go ahead. Your thanks for leading us through this game like a boss. If you've not seen the Shadow Hearts parts, definitely take a look at those. Those are incredible. And also see my reactions of surprise on everything, because I didn't know anything was coming. It made it really interesting that way as far as my play, or our play, his play of it, and my first-time reaction. Yeah, so that is going to be our last shot on Shadow Hearts on April 15th. And the week after that, we are starting our next RPG. That is also going to be on Saturday, April 22nd, I believe at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will have confirmation of that in 2 weeks when we play Game Dev Tycoon, but I'm going to stick with that for the time being. But either way, we're going to be starting Lunar Silver Star Story Complete for the PlayStation, which is by Game Arts. We showed Elise Dragoon in the Genesis list here. Yeah, that was a game of theirs released in 1993, so it is its 30th anniversary this year. The 30th anniversary since the Sega CD release. We're playing its remake on the PlayStation, which Protorova has a lot of familiarity with. It's the game he loves. I said, what RPG you want to start with? It's either this or The Legend of Dragoon. He said, I want to start with this one. He's going to be controlling that game just like Protorova was, or not fine, like the Crusader 64 was with Shadow Hearts. That's going to be all his. And we'll figure how that's going to operate. Since we're going to start earlier in the day, it might be something we won't need as many parts on that, but we're also going to come back to that every month at least until we finish it. So we're going to start having our multiple long-form games running. So Mega Man Legends 2 and Lunar specific. And then end of April 29th. That's the 25th anniversary of the release of Tekken 3 for the PlayStation. We're going to be playing the PlayStation version, Electverse. I know you wanted to see that. I've started my practice on the game. I have started doing the unlocks as far as the characters. You know, there's a couple I got to do, but I got time to do it. I've been getting used to everything with that game, comparing it with 2 and 1. Because actually my experience with Tekken is mostly PlayStation 1 games, and 5 on the PlayStation 2, which is amazing, and has the arcade versions of 1, 2, and 3 in them as well. At some point we can show that. But Tekken 3 is what he wanted to see first. That's what we're playing first. We're going to go full with that game. It also is, interesting enough, going to be our first fighting game that is given a dedicated show on Super Bowl Game Saturday. Every other one has been part of a showcase or compilation program that we've done. But not Tekken 3. Tekken 3 is going to be our first look. Actually, there's a lot to look at on that one. And some interesting stuff with Tekken 2, interesting enough. And if I had disc release of Tekken 1 on the PlayStation, we could indicate it that way. But I have that digitally, so it's going to look different. I'll get into that when we play it. It's a little small thing, but I can really show the Tekken 2 part of that. But yeah, we're going to play Tekken 3, and I'm looking forward to playing that for sure. It's one that, the more I've been playing that game, the more it's really grown on me. I was wrong when I bought this game years ago and said, this is too clunky and I'm not getting into this. I didn't play 1 and 2. I like 1 and 2, but I was like, yeah, those definitely felt clunky. 3 was like, yeah, 3 was like, man, this feels so much better than I remembered it. And yeah, definitely getting into it a lot. And thank you, Lecford, for making that recommendation, that request, and kind of getting me to understand how good a game Tekken 3 really is. We'll get to that at the end of April. I'm looking forward to that. Then in May, we have the next parts of Mega Man Legends 2 and Lunar Silver Star Story Complete. They will be separated out weeks, because I have to travel, actually, as far as their shows. So usually what happens is we have Darth Loctus, who's been in the chat before, playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, with this new course that came out this week, including Yoshi's Island, which is amazing. Yeah, I love my Yoshi's Island, and that course is terrific. But anyway, good to see you, my friend. But anyway, in May, I should say, it's going to be separate elements because I have to travel as far as their programs. So, they're going to be at separate weeks. So, Nocturne, I believe, is going to be the first weekend of May. She said she's good at that one. And then Proto is going to be the third weekend. Second weekend is going to be Castle 22. We got the next treasure game in our lineup, which is going to be Guardian Heroes for the Sega Saturn. We're playing it on the Sega Saturn. His Saturn is in good working condition now. We can run the game. The game works like a charm. And yeah, we're looking forward to playing that. He's looking forward to showing that game off and having more memories than I do, admittedly, because I have not played it much. And even the version I have, which is on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, I have it on the 360, but it's on PS3 as well. It is something that it's not exactly the same as the Saturn game. And you're going to see that in May. Looking forward to that. And then we get to the Memorial Day compilation program. Chat, you want a Namco night. You want to see Namco stuff. We got Namco stuff for you. We have Namco Museum Virtual Arcade for the Xbox 360 that has all of the Namco arcade ports from Xbox Live Arcade that were, interesting enough, produced by Hiroshi Aso, who directed this game. So talk about things going full circle. So yeah, we're going to look at every game in that collection. I believe it's up 38. I think it's at 40 at one point. Not quite. It's a little less than that. There's still tons of Namco goodness to have in this game. Actually, I believe is the most games we've had in the compilation program we've done so far. So yeah, we got our big hitters like Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, underrated stuff like Modos, Mappy, and I think Barduke was in that. Metrocross is in that. I love them, Metrocross. And then Tower Drago, which is a category of all its own, and we were definitely going to give that game the full look that I have been teasing for the last 2 years, and it's a game that's touched everyone's lives in one way or another, but they survived. So if nothing else, that's that idea. And then in June, what we have so far on the show that I know, we'll have the next parts of Lunar Silver Star Story Complete and Mega Man Legends 2. And lastly, we will also have, well, I'll have to figure this. This is really where the schedule is going to be question mark. I'll just figure out if we can start Super Mario Sunshine then. Bricks 3 wanted to see that. It's going to be dependent upon the schedules of the Crusader 64 and Surrendering Antonio, because that's going to be a case where multi-part of that game, I'll have to 100% that game, and it's also going to be something where, yeah, we'll have 3 long-running games, or long-form games running at the same time, as it is. So that's what we're going to be having happen. And then end of June, I'll have to think about this. If I can get a Medics, as far as a schedule case, running for one of those weekends in June, we'll finish Parasite Eve. We will finish Parasite Eve. We're not going to necessarily put that game on the table completely, but I said we're not doing that without him. He needs to be involved for the end of that, and I will not touch it until I can figure when his schedule is going to be, and we can make that game happen for finishing it. Like I said, we will not ditch it. It's not going to be. It's like what happened with Nocturne with Mega Man Legends. Everything kept running into problems with us trying to figure the schedule that. It took a while, but we got it done. We're going to have that happen with Parasite Eve. I promise you that. And then in July, the only show I know, we'll have the next parts of Mega Man Legends 2 and Lunar. So yeah, if you're not liking what those games are, it's like, okay, fine, whatever, but long-form game once a month, when we can, we'll do it. And then July 4th weekend, Bomberman World for PlayStation. Like person, know you want to see it. I have it. We're getting ready for that game. Eventually, we'll get to that point. And September, Counter Hardcore. And then other stuff as well coming down the rest of the year. Putting other stuff of Konami's. Now I'm thinking about that. Counter Hardcore, as I mentioned. Castlevania Rondo of Blood. We're going to do that the last weekend of October. I think I mentioned this at one point, but I'll reiterate it again. because that is the 30th anniversary of the game. This is 30 years of that game this year. That is going to be on a Saturday. We'll play that Elect First the way you want it played. I didn't actually tell you this, but I want to reiterate this. You can let me know either here, future show, YouTube site, your choice. I said we'll do the TurboGrafx 16 Mini version if that's what you want, or the Wii Virtual Console version that you want too. They're the same for those two, but I do have Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles for the PSP. I can unlock it in that game, or unlock Run of Blood specifically, and play that version within that. And we'll do Dracula X Chronicles as its own show at some point. But first we're going to do Run of Blood, because that's what you want to see. Well, your favorite Castlevania game is a great one for sure. If you want that PSP version, say the word, and we'll play it that way. Yeah, you have your choice. TurboGrafx 16 Mini, Wii Virtual Console, or PSP for the original Run of Blood version that's in there. Which I believe is translated, so that might actually be a good way to do that. And a good way to figure PSP, because I have the stuff to record PSP on the show, but just something that I had to sit down as far as how the look is going to be on screen. It's not exactly going to be as clear or as filled out exactly as you're seeing here. It's kind of replicating the widescreen element of the PSP. So I'll have to figure what I'm going to do with that, but that'll come later. Alright, with that, I think that's going to do it for Super Bowl Game Saturday for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for adding the show, you always do. And all I can say is hope you have a great rest of your night, a great week coming forward, and a great rest of your weekend, and fortunately a loss of sleep. Unless you live in Indiana with the lack of daylight savings time there. But either way, I'll see you next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Nikki and Edwack for Freddy Fish, Case of the Missing Kelp Seeds, and Freddy Fish, Case of the Haunted Schoolhouse, our first PC shows, and a doubleheader for you for St. Patrick's Day. Till then, keep being awesome. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Take care.